Steelers won the toss, and they deferred the option, which you have the option to do, as you know, in the NFL now. So Baltimore to receive, and Yamon figures will do it.
No rain and no mud. You remember last year when punts just stopped dead and there was a lift clean in place rule.
Jeff Reed kicks it off to Figures. Missed the Cleveland game with a hamstring injury. Hit down at the 17. Let the hard hitting begin. Lawrence Timmons gets it going. Well, exactly 1 year ago today, as we have an injured player for Pittsburgh, exactly 1 year ago today, Joe Flacco was the starting quarterback for Delaware against Monmouth. It's a far tougher ask here tonight, and that start will get delayed a second as they look at Andre Frazier, the backup linebacker who's injured for the Steelers on that opening kickoff return.
I'm just going to suggest to you that Monmouth may be a little better than my original laugh might have indicated. Although I don't know their nickname either.
The Hawks. The Hawks.
The Hawks. Okay, good.
There's Frazier. Let's get a peek at what happened to the backup linebacker on the opening kickoff. And he was sized up by Haruki Nakamura, the rookie safety for the Ravens, who has not participated in this rivalry but has inserted himself the way a lot of guys do. All right, so what's the deal here with Flacco, Jaws, the quarterback?
Well, obviously this is his third start. First one on the road, very hostile environment. So I think you'll see Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, be simple in his approach. Call the play, execute the play. Not a whole lot of audibles at the line of scrimmage because you know that Steeler defense is going to disguise their looks, give them a lot of different looks. You don't want to get into an audible situation because of the noise. You're not going to hear a whole lot when you're calling plays here in Pittsburgh when you've got the ball.
And you have John Harbaugh, who you're talking about, the 46-year-old rookie head coach who was the Philadelphia Eagles, I should say, secondary coach, special teams coordinator for a long time before that, but hasn't been a D coordinator or an offensive coordinator before getting this Ravens opportunity replacing Brian Billick. His opposite number tonight, Mike Tomlin, was just out on the field to take a interest in his fourth-year linebacker out of Cincinnati, Andre Frazier.
It was an eyebrow-raising moment, by the way, when Harbaugh got that job. I mean, because he'd never been a coordinator, and this was the first, maybe later in the show we'll have time to do this, this was the first interview he'd ever gotten for a head coaching position in the NFL, and he got the job.
And it's not surprising. I've been around John Harbaugh for 10 years, being in the Philadelphia area, and John being the special teams coordinator and then defensive backs coach a year ago. I mean, he just reeks of football. I mean, the guy has a passion for football. And when you think of a special teams coach projecting to a head coach in the NFL, the special teams coach deals with all the players. Sometimes coordinators on offense or defense, they deal with all the players. So I think the fact that John was a special teams coach for a number of years, he interacted with the entire football team. That helped him prepare to become a head coach in the National Football League.
Well, everybody waiting as they've brought out the cart and the backboard to look at Andre Frazier. I did see him moving his legs, as you see there. So as they continue to tend to him, we'll step out for a second. Okay, first snap, Flacco lost it, got it back, lost a couple of yards. So right away the mistake with Joe Flacco. I want to take you through the lineups tonight for the Ravens on the bottom of the screen. Willis McGahee's going to play with Flacco in the backfield. They'll be using multiple running backs, but McGahee's ready for his heaviest workload. Go through these pass catchers, only 20 receptions in 2 games. Jaws, they've run it 90 times. Is their offensive line that good?
Yeah, it's a young offensive line, Mike. 2 second-year players, 3 fourth-year players. They're athletic, and they can get to the perimeter.
Second and 11. And McGahee, the first run. James Farrier there to clean it up. Going to be a loss of a yard. Third down coming up for this terrific Steelers defense. Now, do note, big headline. They're without 2/3 of their starting defensive front. Casey Hampton is out, Brett Kiesel is out, and that's why the last 2 guys you saw go by on the screen are starting. Jaws, it's always about the linebackers here in Blitzburg.
Well, especially with Dick LeBeau as the defensive coordinator. He loves to get those second-level players, the linebackers, after the quarterback, and this group is no different. And especially when James Harrison has the A-game, boy, he brings the heat.
You see McFadden starting at corner. Deshae Townsend, the normal starter, is available tonight. Missed the first 2 games with a heel injury. Third down, and the rookie Flacco throws incomplete. And on cue, it is Townsend seeing his first action there in coverage on Derek Mason. 3 and out for the Ravens.
Couldn't have worked out better for the Steelers. Flacco fumbles the first snap, 2nd and 11. They gain nothing on a run. He's 3rd and deep, and he can't make. I mean, that's exactly what the Steelers want. They want the pressure immediately on Flacco.
You get a young quarterback, you want him in that 3rd and long situation. That's when you can really change up your coverages.
Sam Cook kicks for Baltimore. Santonio Holmes goes back, and a beautiful kick by Cook. 55 yards from the 30. Holmes flag down. Holmes down at the 45. Brought to the ground by Antoine Barnes, the linebacker. And Gene Steratore is our referee here tonight.
Joe Flacco on the phone, calling anybody who will
During
listen.
the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 53. 10-yard penalty. First down, Pittsburgh.
Bruce Davis flag there. So here comes Big Ben and the Steelers, the 11th overall pick of the 04 draft, youngest quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Has a hand injury, wouldn't shake hands with his right hand when we were with him Saturday, guys. Be interesting to watch that as the night goes on.
I thought he just didn't like you. I think he shook my hand.
Shook my hand.
Flacco, by the way,
Give me a hug, too.
calling the area code 302. Anybody in Delaware who could help him out on that first series.
Calling home in South Jersey.
From the 24, it is Rashard Mendenhall, the rookie out of Illinois. He goes nowhere, and he's under the gun tonight. Willie Parker, who, if not for breaking his leg late in the season last year, may have led the league in rushing in 2007. Sprained knee, out a couple of weeks. So the rookie from Illinois, who has not carried it the last 2 weeks, has to fill the shoes of Willie Parker tonight.
Strong downhill runner, Mendenhall. The problem he will have tonight, blitz pickup.
He just has 10 NFL carries in the regular season. Roethlisberger's first throw to his tight end, Heath Miller. Only a yard there with Bart Scott, the active chatty linebacker. 3rd down. Let's spin you through the players for the Steelers. At the bottom of the screen, they're going to be under the gun. You're going to see Carey Davis in the backfield spelling Mendenhall a bit. Very productive pass catchers, guys you're very familiar with. But Jaws, there's got to be time to get him to him. That's the key for this team.
Yeah, the O-line is a work in progress right now. They have to improve their communication tonight. This is the situation they did not want to get into. 3rd and 9. This is when the Ravens love to bring their blitzes.
Heath Miller back there in the backfield next to Roethlisberger. Have a smart guy, an experienced guy to help pick up some of the pressure. Ben directing and throwing to Holmes. A flag down in the secondary. Santonio has a first down at the 45. 19 if it stands up.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Defense, number 52. The penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
On Ray Lewis.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger does a great job of moving in the pocket. Sometimes it looks a little frenetic, but by extending the play, he makes plays. You'll see him right here. There's always a little bit of risk-reward with Ben Roethlisberger. Sometimes he'll hold on to the ball a bit too long, maybe take a sack. But when he does move around, he can make those explosive plays down the field.
Got him out to the 45. Mendenhall's a thick back, 5'10", 225. Leaks out for the pass, and that one is knocked away. A good job by Bart Scott to deflect it from Matt Spaeth, the second tight end. Here are the Baltimore defensive starters. They're going to miss their starting nose guard, Kelly Gregg, so Justin Bannon in his stead. Always the focal point for this group is the front seven. Ray Lewis and Bart Scott will do it. The guys I'm concerned about tonight, the secondary, because Samari Rolle, corner, DeJuan Landry, safety, out tonight.
Yeah, it won't be a problem if the Ravens can get pressure. And that pressure usually comes from Terrell Suggs and Jarrett Johnson off the edge.
Second and 10, hitting the hole quickly. Mendenhall gets about 8 yards. 3rd and 2, Ray Lewis made the tackle.
Mendenhall had 10 carries in the opening game for the Steelers when the Steelers looked so dominant. No carries, as you said, Mike, in the last 2 games. And he felt maybe that was somewhat of a demotion. I mean, he was concerned about that. Now, because of the injury, he's in there. And you mentioned, Jaws, the tough thing is pass protection. He said when you're a featured running back in college, you don't do that. You run the ball. That's your job. So he's got to learn on the fly how to protect the quarterback.
And especially against his Ravens defense, which gives you a lot of different looks. They try to cause confusion.
See again, they go 4 wide, Mendenhall out, Davis in, high snap there, and it didn't look right because it was wrong. That's a flag afterwards, as there was conversation. Antoine Barnes of the Ravens was involved with Santonio Holmes. So you've got that first initial flag, and then and it's a good job by the officials. If you want to keep this yapping and talking down to a low roar, flag them. You flag them early.
Still smiling, though.
Isn't that what Mendenhall told us? That he felt that there'd be some ungodly talking out there. That was his phrase, ungodly talking.
Well, there you go, the slap on the head.
There are fouls
Barnes.
by both teams on the play. First, we have a false start, offense, number 73. And we have personal foul, defense, number 50. Personal foul, offense, number 10. All penalties will offset. We will play third down.
So that was fun.
Well, that little love tap certainly did hurt. Or else it would have been 3rd and 8 rather than 3rd and 3. So the penalty on Barnes, really did hurt.
And they caught the
offset.
They caught the Santonio Holmes yap that caused the Barnes tap, and it all got away at offsetting penalties.
I thought you were going for the triple there when you went to yap and tap. I thought you were going to rap.
Nope.
Okay. Could have had a whole poetry thing going on for you.
It's early. We're right back to 3rd and 2. Roethlisberger finds the space, finds Nate Washington to the 35-yard line. They picked up a dozen. It's a Steeler first down again.
Mike, the Steelers a week ago had problems with their pass protection. The Ravens brought 5. The Steelers did a good job of picking it up. You'll see a nice, comfortable pocket for Ben. He hangs in that pocket. He's got to wait. He's got to wait as the bodies are flying around him, and he's able to dump the ball off to Washington. Really good job by Roethlisberger. But more importantly, that will give this offensive line some confidence. They struggled last week against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Third-string tight end Sean McHugh in there as a lead blocker for the Steelers. And Mendenhall, good. Lane to gain a dozen. First down.
Jaws, you mentioned the fact that Roethlisberger was pounded last week. He took 8 sacks last week. One of the things Mike Tomlin told us was we've got to keep our quarterback clean this week. And you talk about how well the pocket is formed. By this point last week against the Eagles, Roethlisberger was on his back.
Well, Bart Scott ended up on his back. What a lead block by the tight end down at fullback, Sean McHugh.
You are right, Mike. That was a fantastic lead block.
After the longest run of Mendenhall's brief career, a negative run. Say hello to the first-round pick, Halote Nata. Bart Scott there as well. So what they see in Mendenhall, this rookie out of Illinois, remember the Rose Bowl against USC? With all due respect to the Illinois players, he was the only guy who looked like he could have played for the Trojans.
He's I think I have this correct, he's the first-round running back the Steelers have named in 19 years. So they must have seen a lot in him. They don't usually go anywhere near that high for running backs.
3 seasons at Illinois, 2,539 rushing yards. You see the last time the Steelers went early for a running back. Just shy of the 20-yard line. Good pickup of a half dozen. One of the reasons that there was concerns early on about Mendenhall, he fumbled 3 times in a couple of preseason games, and the second and third game of this regular season were close. And that's one of the reasons I think Mike Tomlin didn't have him spelling Willie Parker.
They made him carry the ball around in training camp, and if anybody knocked it out, it was worth $100. He said at one point he dove on the ground and got a floor burn because it was a $500 ball, and he didn't want to have to give that one up.
We got some of the lost yardage back. 3rd and 7 in field goal range.
Again, you can see the Steelers are having some problems with their communication, identifying the Ravens.
Third and 12 coming up.
False start, offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, third down.
And Mike, when I talk about identifying the players, communication is so important. Normally the quarterback will come out and he'll identify the middle linebackers. You'll see Ben in here checking out the defense. When he calls the middle linebacker, he's identifying right there. Now the protection scheme will normally go away from the middle linebacker. Get the big on big and pass protect. You can see right there the Steelers got a little bit antsy at the line of scrimmage.
The 52-57, that's Ray Lewis and Bart Scott, those inside guys Jaws was talking about. A whole bunch of them coming. And getting to Roethlisberger as Corey Ivy, the corner, came in to get the sack.
That was very similar to what happened a week ago in Philadelphia. You're getting rushes coming off the edge, clean, untouched. When you have speedy defensive backs untouched the quarterback, you have no chance.
And
Corey in at Roethlisberger.
Who played in Tampa early in his career, where his defensive backs coach was Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Steelers. 49-yard field goal attempt for Jeff Reed. Very accurate. In a tough place to kick field goals, Reed bangs one through for the game's first points.
Could be worth a photo on the internet for you Reed fans. Lots of them out there.
Great night here at Heinz Field. Mike Tomlin was ready for the type of game that this could have been, guys, in that first drive. Kind of illustrated what he was alluding to on Saturday when he visited with us. Net punting's a good thing in this game. Field goal drives are terrific.
They got three.
That's what they got, right? Yaman figures from 3 yards deep. Punted down by Patrick Bailey, the linebacker. Bailey made his NFL debut last week on special teams and gives a long field to Flacco and the Ravens again.
Well, Patrick Bailey did an outstanding job of knifing through, finding the ball carrier, and making a big play.
Been 2 long fields for Joe Flacco. First 2 road drives of his NFL career, regular season. First one at the 17. This one at his own 12. And the rookie out of Delaware will throw on first down. And throw it deep downfield for Demetrius Williams. With the coverage for Ryan Clark, the free safety.
Well, you can see the arm strength of Joe Flacco. He stayed on that back foot and delivered that ball about 65 yards down the field. The problem was the ball had to come out of his hand a lot sooner than that. It's not about how far you can throw it. It's about anticipating the route. You'll see him stay on that back foot and just drive this football down the field, but it is still underthrown.
Second and 10 run with Willis McGahee for just a couple of yards. We saw the injury on the opening kickoff. Susie Culber with us as an update. Suze.
Yeah, the backup linebacker, Andre Frazier, we saw that he was immobilized. He did raise his hands up to the crowd before he was wheeled up the tunnel. He does have a spine injury, but he is moving his arms and legs. Obviously, he will not return.
Hey, Susie, thank you.
Again, 3rd and long. The situation you do not want to put Joe Flacco in on a consistent basis.
From the backside, brought down by 2007's Mr. Monday Night, James Harrison. He had 3.5 sacks, a fumble recovery, and a pick on a Monday night here last year. 3 and out.
Yeah, you'll see the problem right here. They got Adam Terry at left tackle there on the outside, and Harrison just runs right by him.
So you got Flacco now twice in 3rd and long. Once he misses a pass, once he gets driven into the turf.
Kind of interesting on that set. Normally Adam Terry is the right tackle. They moved him over on the left side, and Harrison got the matchup on him, just whipped him.
Sam Cook, another good punt, 52 yards. Santonio Holmes setting up blocks and tripped up at the 44 as he was trying to cut it up. Derek Martin made the tackle. Harrison likes Mondays. Pretty
So do
comfortable.
I.
Better than Flacco likes them at the moment.
Out here in the fields. Saints getting a home win yesterday against San Francisco. Good field position again for the Steelers, leading 3-0. And a first down throw for Pittsburgh, and they've got a deep throw going. One problem, it's going the other way. Haloti Ngata comes up with it for the Ravens.
There's nobody in a black jersey anywhere near that ball. It looked like he was going deep, and all of a sudden he threw it 5 feet into a big guy's gut.
Ben Roethlisberger with what happened with Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator. We'll try to show you in a second. After Ngata's second career interception, good field position for Flacco and the Ravens, and they'll get it on the ground. Nowhere to go for McGee, lost a yard. Larry Foote made the play. Back to the pick.
And normally you go play act, you're trying to get a big play down the field. You'll see Big Ben come off the play fake. He's trying to get the crossing route to his right side. You'll see it right there. That's where he's trying to get the football, but the corner fell back to the inside. He tried to hold on to the football. Here's where that injury could come into play. He tried to not throw it, and the ball came out of his hand right in a big Haloti Ngata, as Tony said, a big fat guy at 345 pounds. He
Instant
like
analysis
an athlete.
by me.
That's
in-depth analysis.
That's
big
as good as it gets right there.
Yeah.
2nd and 11, the Ravens cannot run it, but Flacco's got to throw it. A holding penalty will bring back this gain by LaRon McClain. James Harrison was dragged down by Todd Heap. Tight end trying to keep away the pass rusher.
Holding. Offense. Number 86. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Here is Heap with the 10-yard takedown on Harrison.
Yeah, you'll see Todd Heap, number 86. It's a tough matchup, a tight end blocking James Harrison, who's a heck of a pass rusher. Well, I'm not so sure that was really a hold. It looks like Harrison was going down, and he fell on top of him.
Has Baltimore gained 1 yard? They gained a single yard yet on all of their plays?
Their total, they had one positive play, I know that. Their total is -6 yards.
To use an analogy, reminds me of the first half of the Michigan game, the college game, where they never even got back to the line of scrimmage. You got to move down the field, Jaws.
That would help.
2nd and 21, and a good throw from Flacco is a few yards shy of the first down.
There you go.
To the veteran Derek Mason, 12 years now in the league out of Michigan State.
Excellent play design by Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator. He wanted to get the ball down the field. He went to a 8-man protection and a 2-receiver route. He was going to protect Joe Flacco, allow this play to develop down the field. Joe does a great job off the play action, snaps his head around, and gets the ball down the field.
It's 3rd and 3, and the Ravens empty the backfield. Let's see how Flacco handles this.
Quick pass. Quick pass.
Or come in. Polamalu tried to jump the route, but the pass was caught by Demetrius Williams for the first down.
Can you say arm strength? Troy Polamalu did a fantastic job of reading the eyes of Joe Flacco, and Joe's going, wow, where did he come from? And that ball just had a jet stream on it. What a great throw by Flacco here. Watch this ball come out of his hand. You'll see Polamalu. He thinks he's got a pick here. Look at this, right in front of him. But that ball just whistled outside the outstretched hands of Polamalu. Heck of a throw.
You know, we call that Sabathia fast where I live.
So this guy gets 3 days rest times 2.
That's right.
Harrison off the edge. Flacco got away from him. That ball gets near the line of scrimmage with Heap over there, so it won't be intentional grounding. It's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Larry Foote at the pressure. Who's Joe Flacco? Actually played a couple of games in the stadium. Was at Pittsburgh, but wasn't going to get the opportunity to start. So he transferred to Delaware, wore the winged helmet, took them to the runner-up in Division I AA, the FCS, if you will, last year. And then the first-round pick for the Baltimore Ravens, 18th overall. And the Ravens weren't counting on Flacco to be starting quarterback. Really, you thought Kyle Bowler was going to be the guy. First, Steve McNair retires. Then Bowler injures his shoulder out for the season. Troy Smith gets sick. And hi, Joe, you're the quarterback. Toss to McGahee. Tackled by Woodley. 3rd and about 5 or 6 coming up.
To follow that story, they moved up, actually, to number 18 from number 26 to get Flacco. Cam Cameron, the writers in Baltimore say Cam Cameron liked him even more than Matt Ryan. liked him that much. But they did not want him nor expect him to be the starter. Troy Smith had a tonsillitis infection, lost about 30 pounds. Kyle Bowler, a season-ending shoulder injury. Nobody wants a rookie to start, but a rookie from 1AA or whatever they call that now, it's even harder. And Flacco's surprised
Tony, I don't want to hear that. If you can throw at Delaware, you can throw at any level. The kid can throw.
Third down, can't take a sack in field goal range. A strike is caught for the first down by Mason at the 17-yard line.
Full disclosure warrants that we explain that your son went to Delaware.
Well, that's all right.
So you're partial. No, but you're right. Rich Gannon went to Delaware. Yeah. And he can obviously throw. But the point would be that when you draft a rookie quarterback, you're not expecting to have to start him day one. And it's a combination of bizarre events and injuries that force that to happen.
I agree, but we've seen 2 throws where Troy Polamalu's read him perfectly and he still got completions out of it.
McGahee runs to the left. Willis gains a couple of yards. Willis McGahee was injured in the game that the Ravens played last week, beating Cleveland 28-10. Go in this game in the third quarter, McGahee suffers a laceration to his right eyelid, a cut that drew blood. Now, the Ravens sent this tape to the NFL saying Cleveland middle linebacker Andre Davis got in there and was intentionally trying to injure him. No action was taken by the league.
Last year we had Spygate. This year we have Eyegate.
Flacco 2nd and 8 to the end zone. 8 out of bounds. Mason couldn't get him down, but incomplete.
Mike, an interesting stat for the Baltimore Ravens. They've been inside the 20-yard line. They've had 23 snaps. 22 have been run. So obviously they get in this area. John Harbaugh's thinking, okay, let's at least get 3. I love the play call. Pittsburgh knows they are a predominant run in this area. Well, that was a really good throw.
So close. He caught the back ball on that one. But that is so close to having the feet inbounds.
Look at that. Look at our production department, how hard they're working. There's that.
You're falling in love, Joe. You're falling in love.
No, it's a small sample.
3rd and 8. Flacco almost intercepted. Lawrence Timmons, who's playing more and more every day for the Steelers. He tried to knock that away. Almost had a pick, but instead we'll get a field goal attempt with 22 seconds left. That brings on Matt Stover, who has a great resume of kicking here in the NFL. Not just that 3rd in NFL history because of the percentage. He has kicked most of his field goals outdoors. He's kicked in many bad weather situations. From 33 to tie the game. Many of you know this Ravens franchise moved from Cleveland, the old Cleveland Browns. Stover kicked for that group in the early 90s. All tied, 3-3. 3 Monday Night Football here in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers won their opener over Houston 38-17. Then they went over to Cleveland, won a division game 10-6, and lost to the Eagles 15-6. The game where Roethlisberger was sacked so many times. The Ravens won their first 2 games, beating Cincinnati and Cleveland. Remember, the game they were supposed to play against Houston moved because of Hurricane Ike, which means they've got no bye week the rest of the way. They have to go 15 weeks in a row. Wow. Yeah. Stover's kick taken by Davis, the back, and Carey is shown the sideline around the 26. Roethlisberger the pick last drive, but the drive before that, Ron, another mistake.
Well, you know, sacks are not always against the offensive line. They can be on the quarterback. Here's the hot principle. Corey Ivy comes off the corner. Ben's got to get rid of the football. Ray Lewis coming from the inside was on the coverage. That is the hot principle. Sight adjusted. Ben did not get rid of the ball.
Didn't look back.
He looked back. He looked back. He looked back. Ball's got to come out. That was a protection scheme where if one came to that side, the ball must come out. Rex Ryan saw that. He's going to bring more heat if he knows that Ben is not making the proper read.
Buddy's son retained from the Brian Billick staff to this staff, and very important to this team. He interviewed for the head coaching job as well. Rashard Mendenhall carries for a couple. Ray Lewis there, fired up by the stop as we bring the first quarter to an end. I don't know if that second digit on the scoreboard's working tonight. might not be needed. In the sample, the top 2 defensive teams in the National Football League. 3-3 as we start the second quarter. Mike Tirico, Tony Kornheiser, Ron Jaworski, Susie Culver on the sideline with us. Here at Heinz Field, sold out for the 277th straight time, whether here or Three Rivers. The quarter begins with 2nd and 8, and Roethlisberger escaping just to throw it away. Out of the tackle box, so no problem. Well, the Ravens slow on offense, great on defense. It fits the profile of the last 5 years. This their rank on offense, nothing better than top half of the league, 32 teams. And their defense every year, top 6 in the league. And that has set the foundation for frustration on this franchise over the last couple of years, coming off their Super Bowl success when they won Super Bowl 35.
If you're a defender on that team and your offense never gives you any points, at some point you wonder, what am I doing here? We could win a bunch of rings if we had a good offense, not even a great one. Just give us a break, score occasionally.
3rd and 8, pressure's picked up. The pass for Hines Ward. Heath Miller, I should say, is incomplete. We'll bring up 4th down. Chris McAllister covering the tight end.
Ben right now struggling a little bit to find his rhythm. The ball sailed on him there. You know, you got to believe that hand might be bothering him just a bit. And Tony, I do want to apologize to you. We caught Hines Ward on that blitz where Ben got sacked, and he was looking back in the backfield. So the sack was on Hines Ward.
Mitch Berger with the punt. Yamon Figures caught it and dropped it at the 31, but lucky to get back on it. And James Harrison saw one there, and the penalty marker comes down after the play. Might be on that special teams specialist, Brendan Ayanbadejo, for the Ravens. And good job by this crew trying to cut off anything before it becomes a big deal.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 51 of the return team, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Baltimore, timeout.
And it was on Ayanbadejo, the 2-time Pro Bowl special teamer. Ravens ball when we come back. Some of the bridges, you have the 6th, the 7th, and the 9th Street Bridge, all 3 in a row there that lead you right over to the baseball stadium, PNC, and then just up a little bit from there to here in Heinz Field. Beautiful stadiums, great views of the city. Great as you'll find at any sports venue in America. First down run with McGahee, tackled by Larry Foote. The linebacking core without the guy who went to the Pro Bowl last year, James Harrison, being worked on during the break. And this goes back to the near fumble by Yamon. So they continue to look at Harrison. Barnes Timmons in for him. It is Foote chasing Flacco, got rid of it. Even a loss of a yard for LaRon McClain before 3rd down. Sports Center right now with Linda Cohn.
Loss of a yard. 3rd down and 9 at the 19.
Okay, Linda, thank you. Scott Linehan fired by the St. Louis Rams today. Jim Haslett replacing him.
What a circus in Oakland.
3rd and 9. Pressure coming. Flacco got rid of it for the first down to McGahee to the 33-yard line. Good job by the rookie to hang in. Gain of 14.
If you're going to play consistent quarterback in this league, you better look down the gun barrel. Here's the heat on Joe Flacco. He stands tall in the pocket at 6'6" and delivers a perfect throw in the face of adversity.
We asked Flacco, were you going to be nervous? And he said, when you warm up, you play in football. Just because it's the NFL doesn't mean you have to think about it differently. He said, I don't want to trick myself into thinking I can't do it because I know I can. Certain confidence in that.
He's a confident young man.
That first down play action. Waits for the hit from Ryan Clark, delivers it downfield, and Polamalu playing center field makes the takeaway. So Clark, the free safety, comes. Polamalu plays center field and keeps it away.
Yeah, Joe will learn something from that play. You know, maybe at Delaware you can get away with hanging the ball like that, but this is the National Football League. You better throw this ball on a rope, because if this ball hangs, Polamalu will make the play. Incredible range from the free safety position. You can see when that ball left Flacco's hand, Polamalu was in center field, the middle of the field. He made it all the way over the sideline. Great speed, great range by Troy Polamalu.
James Harrison back in the game with that aggravated quad hurt on the play. Screen set up for McGahee. Nowhere to go. Lost a yard for 3rd and 11 coming up. So a first down throw there for Flacco. Remember, this is a team that had 48 pass attempts by the quarterback and 90 runs in their first 2 games.
Well, there's no question that Cam Cameron, the offense coordinator, feels very comfortable calling passes. It's surprising to me, but he must feel comfortable about his protection schemes and the ability of Joe Flacco to read coverage and get the ball out of his hand.
How much of it is Cam Cameron thinking, they'll never expect me to let this kid pass and pass and pass. Maybe I can get one deep, score, and then we can win the game just on the strength of one score.
That's a possibility, Tony.
The rookie Ray Rice is in the game now, guys. And they move the pocket, and there's no way to throw it. And he's been schooled out of the pocket. Throw it to a teammate on the sideline. It's one of those nights where a punt is a good thing. Harrison back in. How'd he do?
Yeah, he did pretty well. Gets inside of Todd Heap right here, and with his speed and quickness, he will chase Joe Flacco down from behind. But again, I like the play call. It was a rollout, get Flacco away from the pressure, and he showed a little maturity. There was nowhere to go with the football. Don't make a dumb rookie mistake and throw an interception. He threw the ball in row 32. You got to like that poise.
Another good kick. Man, Cook's having a good night. 57 yards. Santonio Holmes loses 3, so a net of 60 on that. The former 2-time Notre Dame captain, Tom Zbikowski, made the tackle. Both defenses, as expected, being heard from tonight. 2-1 Steelers, 2-0 Ravens on Monday Night Football. Worst field position for the Steelers tonight, starting at their own 8. Rookie Rashard Mendenhall with nowhere to go. Garrett Johnson made the tackle. The injuries already this season for Ben Roethlisberger. Hyperextended right knee to start it, and then the separated right shoulder. Very slight separation of the right shoulder that hampered him in the Cleveland game. And this hand injury we've been talking about, that was late in the Philadelphia game. He was taken for x-rays. The x-rays were negative. Byron Leftwich had to finish the game. Ben could not squeeze the ball. Said he was unencumbered this week in practice, but as mentioned, that right hand was swollen and puffy when we met with him on Saturday.
He doesn't look right tonight, Mike.
Mendenhall left side, only for a yard and a half. Yeah, a sack, interception, couple of incompletions. Couldn't squeeze it when he tried to give up on that one ball that led to the interception.
Let's understand something about Ben Roethlisberger. A couple of years ago, he had that terrible motorcycle accident. And it was a near-death experience, and then he had an emergency appendectomy. He's had very serious things happen. But there is a body of thought in Pittsburgh among the writers that think he's somewhat of a drama queen in this regard, that if he's hurt and he plays well, he's sort of like Superman. So they talk about the body of his work in the context of his body as well.
Third and 8. 7 Ravens come. He tried to get rid of it. It's caught by Holmes, but it'll be shy of the first down as Fabian Washington comes in to make the play as he steps into the lineup. Antoine Barnes put on the last heat on Roethlisberger.
That was an incredible throw by Ben Roethlisberger.
How did he get rid
under
of the ball?
duress? You'll see once again the heat from Suggs on the outside, Barnes up the middle, and Ben just flicks that ball out there. I mean, it's a terrific throw. As you can see, Barnes on the big hit. That's a heck of a play by Ben. It didn't get the first down, but that was some play.
I'd like to see some of those writers standing and take that.
I know, no, you're right.
Stride,
Come on now, he's a big guy and he gets hit.
Yeah, no kidding. Figures from the 46, picked up a block. return of 4. And the field position is shifted in this game. Advantage Baltimore the last couple of drives. 9.5 till the half. 3-3. One of the last of the NFL unbeaten. So although it's only 2 games, but if you think Pittsburgh's good, Baltimore trading punches right now. 3-3. Third of the way through the second quarter.
I think you can make a case if they win this game, they're the most surprising team in the entire league at 3-0. With 3 division wins, run.
Yeah, that's a big part, Tony. You're right. With 3 division wins, 6.5-yard run from McGahee. And why? Because of the change. Brian Billick gone. And Brian did a really good job. 10th best record in the league during his stretch. Super Bowl 35, championship. But couldn't develop the franchise quarterback, the man known for his offense and the passing yards because of that struggled a bit, and only the second fewest touchdown passes in the NFL. He was supposed to be the guy to get the offense going, could never really get it going. That's why the change was made in part to John Harbaugh, now the head coach. Second and 4, and a big opening for McGahee to the 32-yard line. First down, Lawrence Timmons brought him down.
Let me just clean some. The thing about Billick is part of it, you're right, Mike, that he came in with a reputation as an offensive guru and a quarterback guru,
right,
and he could never develop a quarterback, but he also lost the room with the defenders. I mean, he got into a public shouting match on radio shows with Ray Lewis.
Right.
He had Ed Reed being critical of him, and ultimately, if you're not, if your record goes from 13-3 to 5-11, you lose 9 out of 10, and you've lost the strength of the team, the defense, a change had to be made, a culture change there.
McGahee, the single back, runs it to the 28-yard line.
And to talk about the culture change, they bring in Harbaugh, a defensive guy, a very fired-up guy, and somewhat of a disciplinarian. I mean, Billick let the players take off during training camp, let them sleep at home if they wanted to, didn't do two-a-gays, and Harbaugh did all of that stuff and walked in basically saying, you know, I understand this is a big room. I understand I got to get the defensive guys on my side, and he did. And he did. They bought in right away. If Ray Lewis is with you, nobody can be against you on that team.
29 is a power running here. LaRon McClain, 3 yards to the 26-yard line. You know, when we saw Baltimore last year, we lauded Brian Billick over the last couple of years for what he did. What was he able to do? He was able to change the culture just internally within their place, meaning he adapted to what the needs were for Ray Lewis and the veteran guys.
Right.
So he did everything he could to keep the job. It just did not work out on the offensive side of the bench where they had to make a change.
You know, I like the fact that John Harbaugh kept Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
An outstanding defense coordinator. He wasn't afraid to go out and hire a former head coach in Cam Cameron. You know, that's what a good head coach would do. Surround himself with quality people.
It's 3rd and 3. We'll see if they put it back up in the air or whistle here. And well, that's the second or third time that a third down has yielded in a timeout. Let's see, I think maybe a timeout instead of a flag.
Prior to the snap, we have a timeout.
Okay.
Pittsburgh, they're first charged.
And first one taken in the game. Ravens in field goal range, leading, or tied, I should say. Penn State not too far from here, looking strong as well. Out of the Pittsburgh called timeout, 3rd and 3. The 4-man rush to the Steelers. And it's McGahee getting the first down to the 20-yard line. The Baltimore offensive line is doing a really solid job the last couple of drives.
You know, they really did get the running game going on this drive, because I thought early in the game the pass set up the run. Sometimes we talk about running the football, set up the pass. The Ravens had success throwing the football early. It set up the running game. Here on a 3rd and 3, they go with the screen pass. McGahee does a really nice job of stepping outside, setting up the kick-out blocks, cutting back to the inside, picking up the first down.
Ben Grubbs, last year's first-round pick out of Auburn with a good block. And McGahee goes right side. They're getting 5-6 yards on the ground on first down.
The defenders for Baltimore on the sidelines wondering what on earth is going on. Ed Reed told us the other day, we never have 10-play drives. We don't know what to do when our offense gives us 10 plays like this.
Oh, and the defense
Brand new
just
feeling.
loves it. They loves it. They're sitting on the bench right now, drinking Gatorade, having a good time to come back out there fresh.
And you see Willis McGahee, guys, is shaken up. Willis, who missed the preseason with an arthroscopic procedure to his left knee. He didn't report in the best of shape. And, was ready for his biggest workload here tonight, and slow to get up on that tackle. Backing up McGahee, they have Ray Rice, the second-round pick out of Rutgers this year, and LaRon McClain, who's carried it 36 times, including a few times here tonight.
Mike, I had a chance to talk to one of my old teammates in Philadelphia, Wilbur Montgomery, who's coaching the running backs with the Ravens, and he was telling me about LaRon McClain, how everyone thought he was just a fullback, a lead blocker, and Wilbur noticed the great speed and good feet that he had, and he said he is a tailback-style runner. That's saying a lot for a guy that's 260 pounds.
Yeah, he was 278 when he got to camp, so
he slimmed down.
You like my feet? Let me help myself out here. 2nd and 5. Quick one out to Derek Mason. Good job by Mason to fight off the would-be tackle by Ike Taylor, and the flag comes down with the hand by the face mask. Might be a first down plus, taking it inside the 5.
Once again, Joe Flacco, great awareness. It was a running play called. Corner play is a good 6-7 yards off. Stand up and throw the ball out in the flat, get a one-on-one with a wide receiver and a corner.
Ike Taylor in coverage. Never really got the face mask.
Face mask on the play with the grab and release. However, is a first down.
It's a terrific job by this crew discussing there what was going on. It gives them 1st and goal at the 9.
It's nice that the officiating crew is communicating tonight.
Boy, this has really changed since the 3-0 game. The Ravens have taken control of the offensive line, taken control of the game. But when you get down inside the 10 in a game like this, you need 6, not 3. McClain. Maybe a yard out of it. Larry Foote out of Michigan made the tackle.
Excellent job by Larry Foote, firing that gap, blowing the play up in the backfield. Great anticipation by Foote. Didn't wait at all, just attacked the line of scrimmage.
McGahee coming back in.
Yeah, you'll see Larry Foote right in there. He does a terrific job of hitting that thing right up in the middle. Boy, that's great anticipation.
Play action. Flacco, nobody's open. Lofting it out of the back. 3rd down coming. The quarterback to our right shakes his head. He liked that.
No question about it. If it's not there, don't try to force the play. The Steelers defense did an excellent job of not biting and getting sucked in on the play action. They stayed back in pass coverage. Flacco did the right thing. Nobody was open. Throw it up in the stands. Dick LeBeau, defensive coordinator.
What do you expect from him right now in 3rd
You know
down?
what? He gonna throw it now. He gonna throw it now. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass all season long. It's only game 3 for him. I think he'll get one. I'm saying he's going to get one here. I think he's going to get one tonight.
They're not in the huddle yet. Play clock's down at 8. I think we'll stop it here with a timeout. Ravens timeout. We'll check out with them just for 30 seconds. 3rd down coming up.
A mysterious ghost ship.
Where did it come from? What happened to the crew?
And what are these guys after?
Hello, we get off?
These guys are bored.
Bondi Rescue Bali, 7:30 Wednesday on 10.
Are you sure that thing's safe?
Sure, I'm sure. It's a Bridgestone.
Mike, is there was a shot on TV of Dick LeBeau. So I said, what do you think he's going to do? Jaws paying no attention to defense, thinking only offense, decided what Flacco was going to do. Well, I'm thinking about LeBeau here. Is he going to bring 27 guys, and all Jaws thinks of is quarterback?
You know how I see the game. All right, LeBeau's not going to blitz on this play.
Quick inside run with McGahee, and he will be 2 yards short. It'll be an extra point length field goal to try to give the Ravens the lead. You know, guys, since that field goal that Pittsburgh kicked, the Ravens have absolutely kept the ball away. Now, Ben is helped by giving a turnover plus a sack. It's like 27 of the last 35 plays have been run by Baltimore, so they've really controlled the game.
That's their style of play, and as Tony alluded to, the defense is having a good time resting on the sideline. The Ravens defense is not familiar with that. They're used to seeing 3 and out.
Officially 20 yards for Stover, good from 33. Knocks it in from 20, and the 2-0 Baltimore Ravens lead 6-3. We've been focusing on the intensity of this Baltimore-Pittsburgh rivalry. Did our radio show today over at Jerome Bettis' Grill, which is right down the road, the great former Steeler. Does a nice job over at NBC. We did, as a matter of fact. Great sound. And a fan comes over to me. He's wearing the Roethlisberger jersey, whole deal. And you just remember, it may say Baltimore, but these are the Cleveland Browns. Of course, they came over from Cleveland to Baltimore. They're still the Browns. They're still the team Art Modell owned, and I still don't like them because the Cleveland-Pittsburgh rivalry was it, and now Baltimore's been added to it. It's part of the little subtext of these meetings over the years.
Yeah, you gotta let it go.
Right? Noeldi Moore will not get a chance to return. Pittsburgh ball at their own 20. How's the rookie Joe Flacco doing tonight?
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and I love the design of this play because it's going to go 8-man protection. Allow the play to develop downfield. Get Joe comfortable in the pocket. And look at him squeeze this throw in between 5 defenders. Good anticipation, accuracy. Now you can see a little man scheme down here. You get the rub. Now the concern is Troy Polamalu. But because of the arm strength of Joe Flacco, he's able to get the ball in before Polamalu can make the play. Flacco's been razor sharp. As you can see Cam Cameron talk to him on the sideline. Hey, young fella, you're doing all right.
Can Ben Roethlisberger and the Steeler offense get something going? From the 20, Ben lost his shoe on the way out and now lost 8 yards thanks to Terrell Suggs. Fans getting on the Steeler offense, which has done nothing the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely nothing. You'll see Ben dropping out of the pocket here. On his foot, the shoe comes off. Ben dropping back barefooted. You'll see Marvell Smith on the left of your screen getting beat by Terrell Suggs, and there's the sack.
Somewhere Alan Faneca is in New Jersey. He's a Jet now, saying, I never knocked Ben's shoe off. He used to be the left guard, came out to replace him. Faneca, $40 million free agent deal to go to the Jets. Empty out the backfield. Means the Ravens want to go back there. Ben's throw is caught by Rashard Mendenhall, pulled down by Ray Lewis. You have 3rd and about 11 coming up. You know, guys, the Sunday night game, the Steelers and the Browns, Hines Ward caught a touchdown with 6:26 left in the second quarter. Steelers haven't scored a touchdown since.
Yeah, you're
One
getting
field goal the rest of that game. No touchdowns against Philadelphia. This is now working on 8 quarters without an offense, without any touchdowns.
You're getting to the point where you can, you know, the headline would be something like, "What exactly is wrong with the Steelers?" Because they're supposed to be a dominant team, and they've done nothing close to dominate tonight. They've been on their heels the whole game.
And I know the defenses for Philly and Baltimore are good, but nothing open for Ben. Ben down again. Ball comes out. Was he down or is it ball out? Nope, it's going to be down and 4th down and
those are boos. Those are boos that you're hearing. There aren't 5 stadiums in America where the fans are more partisan than they are right here in Pittsburgh. And they don't boo the Steelers. You boo the Steelers, you have to really do something bad.
Yeah, and Tony, that was a sack with a 4-man rush. They dropped 7 defenders back in coverage. The pressure got the Roethlisberger, nowhere to throw the football. And you are right. You don't hear that in Pittsburgh.
No.
You don't see the Steelers being booed by their own fans. They are not happy. And who would be if you're a Steeler fan watching this performance offensively?
They have a body of fans that is very sophisticated about football. And they all walked into the stadium tonight knowing that the Eagles had sacked Roethlisberger 8 times. And they want to see, I mean, look, it's a $100 million contract. That's a lot of money in any city, and maybe even more in the city of Pittsburgh.
Well, it's going to get harder, guys, as Kendall Simmons, their starting right guard, is coming off and limping. Needs a lot of help here.
And he really is the anchor of that offensive line, the solid right guard. And a lot of shifting in that Steelers offensive line as of late, but they have just been whipped tonight.
Steelers 3 and out. They'll punt. Mike Tomlin's team has some issues. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Toyota halftime show. You got Boomer's fastest 3 minutes. Read and react to T.O.'s comments in Dallas. Tommy will look ahead to our second half. Undoubtedly the update on the Linehan firing in the Rams and what's going on with the Raiders. As Morton, John Clayton have been all over that. Toyota halftime show coming up. Last 3 drives, the Steelers have gone 3 and out. High floater by Berger is going to give Baltimore the ball in Steeler territory. Just a 34-yard no-return kick.
Yeah, and it's been a rough first half for Ben Roethlisberger. You'll see here the interception when he tried to hold on to the football and it slipped out. You'll see the pressure coming from the left. Hines Ward did not read the hot adjustment. Ben takes a sack. Here the shoe comes off. Terrell Suggs beats Marvell Smith, another sack. Here a 4-man rush, no one open downfield. Bart Scott gets a sack. Been a very difficult first half. Not only Ben Roethlisberger, but that entire Steelers offense.
They're not protecting him, and he's not reacting fast enough. It's too slow coming out of him.
That's not a good combination.
Right.
Baltimore has 2 timeouts and needs about 10 or 15 yards to get in field goal range. Great blitz pickup by McGahee. The pass to Mason's incomplete. Just couldn't keep him in. Mason thought he did. In the last 2 minutes, this would be automatically looked at upstairs. No coach's challenge last 2 minutes.
Well, Cam Cameron not afraid to dial up the pass plays. Normally in these situations, and we're going to get a replay.
We'll take a look just to be sure.
The previous play is under review.
Meantime, Kendall Simmons is heading off to the locker room for the Steelers. Their right guard with that right shoe off. Not putting much weight on it. All right, the official review. He scraped his toes there. There's the ball. Make sure he goes,
Yes.
Make sure he goes down and maintains possession all the way through. He was right.
You know, you drill this every single day of practice. Every day they work on that tap-the-toe drill at the sideline, and Derek Mason did a terrific job. Those toes tapped, Tony. How's that?
That's very alliterative, Jaws. That's very good. I was going to ask you.
I thought it was literate.
I was going to ask you. Well, alliterative is what you're trying for, not literate. I was going to ask you if they bring in Fred Astaire to deal with the toe tap drill. I didn't know it was called that.
I'm sorry, I was lost in there.
It was Mason telling us last night, guys, about Flacco. He's amazed with his maturity. And I know we're spending a lot of time on Flacco, but this is a rookie quarterback, a veteran team. Mason, 12 years in the league. He's been to the Pro Bowl a couple of times. A couple of stops with McNair back in Tennessee and here with Steve in Baltimore. And he said, if you had asked me 4 months ago, I would not have believed the quantum leap that Flacco has made from when he came in out of Delaware in the draft in April, and now late August, 3rd preseason game. Found out the day of the game, Troy Smith's feeling bad, so bad he can't play. You're going to have to play essentially the whole game, and all of a sudden it kind of evolved to where we are now.
If you asked Mason that months ago, he couldn't have believed it. If you asked Flacco that months ago, he wouldn't have believed it. Flacco found it hard to believe he was the 2nd quarterback picked in the draft, and finds it amazing, even though he's comfortable with it, that indeed he's starting in the National Football League right now.
Matt Ryan taken by Atlanta ahead. He's had a couple of decent starts.
He thought, Flacco said it might take a long time for him to be drafted. He thought it might be 11 o'clock at night on the 2nd day of the draft, and he went number 18.
I found it kind of interesting, Tony, talking to some of the coaches before the game. From the Ravens, they were talking about Flacco. Now they wish they would have put him in the #1 spot months ago. He was the number 3 quarterback, wasn't getting the reps. They think he'd be much further along.
After review, the ruling is a completed catch. The runner did get both feet down and maintain control of the ball. It will be first down Baltimore at the 31-yard line. The ball will be placed on the left hash mark.
What a terrific job by Derek Mason. Of course, we saw John Harbaugh smiling on the sideline. He wins his challenge. There. Or official review, I guess, would be the correct.
Challenge within 2 minutes.
Okay.
I didn't want to say it.
The verbiage, you always correct my verbiage. I was a health phys ed major at Youngstown State, not an English major.
From the 31, they've got time and timeouts. Just a yard gain for McGahee as we get to 100 seconds left. The Steeler defense did a nice job down inside the 10 earlier with all the attention on Baltimore's good defense. Don't miss Pittsburgh. They've done okay here tonight.
9-3 could be an offensive explosion if they were to get 3 here.
That's McGahee back. McGahee back down again. For the second time in about 4 snaps that McGahee hits the ground.
He missed a lot of practice time, and it's a whole lot different when you got to go out and play the game and take the hits. You know, running on that treadmill and riding the bike are one thing. Going on the football field and the physical contact that takes place, play in and play out, the body takes time to adjust to it.
Okay. Very interesting to watch what the Ravens have done in their first 2 games. How do you get a young quarterback going? You run it a lot with him. Nobody's run more in the first few weeks of the NFL than the Ravens. 190 rushing yards per game, leading the National Football League through their first 2. And update that number from earlier, Ron. Now they've run 25 of 30 plays in the red zone. It's not the same situation, but it reminds me a little bit of the Steelers when Ben Roethlisberger had to take the team over as a rookie. What defined them? The defense defined the way the attitude in the locker room was, what the team did, and they were very good about using the run game, not asking him to do much. And I don't think McGahee's going to be doing much more the rest of this game.
He looks terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to bring a young quarterback along, you don't want to ask him to win the football game. You know, you want to give him 20 to 25 throws. You want to keep him out of those 3rd and long situations. You don't want to give him a lot of high volume in the offense. It takes time to develop. Flacco clearly has demeanor. I think we were all impressed spending time with him yesterday. You know, there are good weapons around him. You know, we spoke about Derek Mason, that great catch that he made. Now, eloquently, he spoke about Joe Flacco. Here's a guy that last year caught 103 balls, Derek Mason. He's not going to get near that this year because that's not the wide open style they're going to play, yet he's bought into this program. I think John Harbaugh's done a terrific job of selling himself and his philosophy.
We'll take McGahee right back to the locker room. Would have been nice if they would have gotten the cart back for him. 2nd and 9. Flacco screens it to McClain. And in for McGahee. McClain's tackled by Bryant McFadden. And a gain of about 3 yards.
We spoke earlier about the athleticism of the offensive line of the Baltimore Ravens, a young group. You know, 2 of those starters are 2nd-year players, 3 of them are 4-year players. They're young, they're athletic. They're going to be really good in the screen game. You saw it there. They got outside. You get out in front of the running back. Eventually, the big plays come off the screen game.
Because of that injury, Baltimore charged the timeouts, and they're down to 1. And taking their time here at 3rd and 7. It's the tight end Todd Heap in motion. And Flacco underneath McClain has room for the first down. And a nice cut by McClain, who takes it inside the 5 into the 2-yard line. 26 yards, 32 seconds left. You got to watch the clock. I'd take my last time out here, and they do. That's a good job with the clock. Take the final timeout, 28 seconds remaining.
Again, you see the Steelers come with their 4-man rush, which is surprising. Well, that was the screen right there. On the big play, they came with a 4-man rush, which was very interesting because normally a Dick LeBeau would dial up the pressure schemes, but he did not. Now you see McClain right there do a terrific job, try to get to the pylon, but the fact that Flacco was so calm in the pocket, he waited for McClain to come open underneath. Terrific job of showing poise under pressure.
And what you were saying, what your old Eagles teammate Wilbert Montgomery said, you could see the fancy footwork there of McClain. Very impressive. And you may be thinking, you have 1 timeout left down here. Why do you use it? You really limit yourself. Just back to the couple of points. The injury inside the 2 minutes, you were forced to take the timeout, so you're down to 1. And you had players all over the field after that screen. They might not have gotten a snap off until 14 seconds left. Here, Ron, they leave themselves the run-pass option. They can get 2 plays off if they had to.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Normally you're looking at about 13, 14 seconds to get up to the ball and spike the football. I'm a big believer you like to keep that 1 timeout in your pocket. Because anything could happen now, a sack, a fumble, the play gets slow. You may not get another play off.
Does this force them to pass right here?
No. They have 28 seconds, so they can run and spike the ball.
Yeah, they can run once and leave themselves the option. You're right. That was the longest pass play for Flacco.
The Steelers missed the coverage.
And Flacco couldn't get it over to Ray Rice, and a marker's down. Rice was standing there by
They're all
himself.
alone. If I had a football, I wanted to throw it to him.
Are there 12 Steelers on the field? 6, 7, 8, 9.
Illegal formation.
Nope.
Offense.
11.
Number 71, the left tackle, was uncovered on the play. There's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
We'll see right down below. How can you miss that? He's wide open. No Steeler defender sees him out there. Flacco just cannot get him the football.
And you see why it's uncovered on Gaither 71. Ray Rice had to be up at the line of scrimmage.
On the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's a half step back. If he's up at the line of scrimmage, then he's legal. And that's why it wouldn't be uncovered. But Flacco couldn't get him the ball standing by himself. Now no timeouts, 26 seconds. To the end zone, high and incomplete for Mark Clayton. Susie Colbert has an update.
Yeah, we saw Willis McGahee taken in the locker room. It's a chest injury. They wanted to take a look underneath his pads just to see how serious. For now, it's questionable, but likely more than anything is, you had mentioned, McGahee hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, and he's clearly out of shape, too.
Yeah. Really looked like he was
in
wiped out
pain.
there, Susie. Wow, you're right.
They finally put him on a cart and took him back in the locker room on a cart.
After the play, 2 flags were thrown, and this was more pushing and shoving and
There are
conversation.
fouls by both teams on the play. After the play, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 73 offense. Also after the play, personal foul. Number 50, 53 defense. The penalty's offset. It'll be second down. The down counts.
Down
Defense
counts.
is 56.
Lamar Woodley called for the flag. Now second down, 22 seconds, Jaws, but you're at the 8-yard line.
You're still okay. You can throw the football, you can run the football. Both options are available. If you run the football, you're going to have to get to the line of scrimmage, spike the football, then kick your field goal. You can also have your field goal team ready on the sideline as well. Normally that takes about 18 seconds to run those guys out and kick it. Empty here by the Baltimore Ravens. They've spread it out.
False start. Right tackle, Adam Terry. He says Woodley induced the move.
First half has taken a week. Long first half.
It's good
Football.
defense. It's
This is good
defense.
football.
What are you whining about?
I
We got
thought
a
they would
great
just
game
run
here.
and run and run, and the whole game would be over by now.
You in a hurry to get back your butts?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 56. Player was in the neutral zone when the offense fall started. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Second down.
That'll take it down to the 4. Lamar Woodley getting out of his stance quickly, and they said he was in the neutral zone when Terry moved. Willie Anderson, the veteran offensive lineman who this team picked up after he was released by the Bengals.
And the Ravens come out with their heavy package.
Yep.
Boy, this is a big old group out there right now.
They got everybody near 300 pounds, and Flacco will throw for his first National Football League touchdown to Daniel Wilcox. 12-3, Baltimore.
Well, they came out with a run personnel. They ran the play action fake. Daniel Wilcox with a nice release to the corner of the end zone. Meet me at the corner. Joe Flacco off the play action fake. Lays it in there beautifully. A long handoff from Joe Flacco to Daniel Wilcox.
He's going to get that ball and save it. That's the first one.
should.
And you did say a few
He
minutes
should.
ago that you thought he would get a touchdown pass because he hasn't had one. You thought he'd get one this game, and even in the first half. So you were right. Take a bow. Very good.
Oh, I just hit my head.
Wasn't on camera.
Stover adds the extra point, and it is a very silent set of terrible towels in Pittsburgh.
Excellent job right here by Flacco. Ball extension. Get the ball out of your hand quickly. Did a really nice job. Get some air under this football. Little flick of the wrist. And Polamalu beating on the play. That doesn't happen too often. You'll see Polamalu step up on the play fake. You'll see Wilcox get behind him. Perfect throw at the corner pylon. As my old coach Sid Gilman used to say, also a friend of John Harbaugh, meet me at the corner.
You know, this is a dazed and confused situation right now for Pittsburgh. This is the last thing they expected. I mean, even though Baltimore was 2-0, and even though they are a real rival, I'm sure the people in Pittsburgh and on this team did not expect Baltimore to control the first half the way they have, to be able to drive offensively with very little offense the way that they have. And I'm sure they didn't expect the Steelers to have done absolutely nothing, because it hasn't necessarily been a case of the Baltimore defense being great. The Pittsburgh offense has done nothing as well. And this is coming out of 2 games in a row in which the Steelers showed very little offensively. You walk into this locker room now at halftime, and you got to wait for a coach to tell you, this is what we are doing wrong, and this is not the way the Steelers play. This is a test for Mike Tomlin as a head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Ravens' chance to play with a lead, too. That's when their defense is very, very good. There'll be no return here. Tony, it's total tonight for the Steelers of 20 plays. And they've only amassed 42 yards now, 21 plays. You see the last 4 possessions, they've had no first downs and the -3 yards.
Mike Tomlin wanted to make Joe Flacco the story. He said Flacco's had 2 wins where he hasn't had to do anything. We want to make sure that he's got to beat us. Well, Flacco at the moment is beating them, and the Steelers are not responding like a great team or even a good team at the moment.
You know, they've been hitting the jaw and they're taking it. And this is not typical of Pittsburgh Steelers football.
No, I'd like to be there in the locker room and find out exactly what is said.
And they're probably not going to have Kendall Simmons, their right guard. Ankle injury, his return is doubtful. 8 quarters, the Steelers without a touchdown. 13-3, the Ravens lead it over the Steelers, who get the ball to start the second half.
Make it simple.
1 touchdown last 11 quarters for the Steelers. We'll get a kick return for the first time tonight with Neweldy Moore going to the 22-yard line. Susie Colbert spoke to Mike Tomlin at half. Suze?
Yeah, well, he said the tone in the locker room, and I don't know if I can say this on TV, but he said his guys were pissed off that this is not the way they play Steeler football. And Tony mentioned about being manhandled, but that's not what Tomlin said is bothering him most and his players. They feel like they're losing this game from the neck up, not being out physicaled out there. That's what's really making them angry.
Well, they had an uptight locker room a bit at half last week. Philadelphia, that was a half dozen sacks in the second quarter. Only a 10-point game, but they need to establish some offense. They put Sean McHugh, the tight end, back there at fullback to lead for Rashard Mendenhall. So kind of line up and show them what you got. The problem is that's lunch for these guys. They love that.
You know, they came out, it's a mano-a-mano running game. That's what it's going to be. We're going belly to belly, and we're going to play football. Ray Lewis loves that kind of game. He filled the gap and made the play.
You know, we started with this at the beginning of the game.
Excuse me, Tony, Mendenhall coming out with his shoulder down, his arm down. Looks like a possible shoulder injury.
Yep. Behind Mendenhall, you got Neweldy Moore and Carey Davis. Remember, Willie Parker, sprained knee, out this weekend, perhaps next for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger, a quick throw and a big hit on Heath Miller, delivered by Jarrett Johnson. Good job to hang on by Miller. And Mendenhall sits next to Parker on the bench.
Well, Ben's got to get the tight end, Heath Miller, involved in the game. Jarrett Johnson says, yeah, get him involved. I'm going to make him pay the price. When throwing to Heath Miller, who's an outstanding tight end, the quarterback rating is 128.3. You need to target Heath Miller, especially against the high percentage blitz team that the Ravens run.
3rd and a yard, out of the gun in the spread. Oh, it was timed very well. Coming up the middle by Bart Scott. They got rid of it to Davis. They tackle him. The ball comes out. It is last possessed inbounds by the Steelers, so it will be their ball. Let's see where it went out of bounds. Spot is at the 31, which should be shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down.
You looked askance at the fact that they were out of a shotgun, because Steeler football for years and years and years has been power running. You line up 3rd and 1, you hand the ball to a back, you make 5 yards. Yeah. They've done that for 40 years.
31, you want to establish your manhood, you go to the shotgun formation. It's just, you know, not typical Steeler football.
No, it isn't.
Oh, almost getting to Mitch Berger's punt. They say Berger flopped. No flag. Yamon Figures from the 32. Spun like a top and gains a yard on the return. Tackled by Matt Spaeth. Antoine Barnes was going in. Fans are... The great neighborhoods, and it all comes together at the confluence. The Allegheny, the Monongahela, forming the Ohio. Downtown Pittsburgh. A terrific skyline, too. Rugged and tough. And a little uptight. Their team's down 10. Willis McGahee hurt in the first half. He's out. Mark Clayton takes the reverse. Loss of a half yard. Bryant McFadden made the tackle. If you're just tuning in, big first half, first round pick, Joe Flacco out of Delaware.
Boy, does a really nice job of beating Troy Polamalu with his arm strength on the dig route. And what an excellent throw to Derek Mason on the outside. Patience and poise in the pocket. Gets the check down to LaRon McClain. And I love this one. Gets the ball out of his hand quickly for the touchdown.
Give me a first half grade on what you saw Flacco.
A.
A?
A.
Number 32 will go up top. And throwing that out, showing that strong arm for Mason, incomplete. Ike Taylor with the coverage. Again, Flacco has played in this stadium. He's from the South Jersey, just outside of Philly, Audubon, New Jersey, and then came to the University of Pittsburgh. At the time, Walt Harris, who had a good run here, was the head coach. Then Dave Wanstead took over the year after he was redshirted and sat behind Tyler Palko, who went to the NFL, and Luke Getsy. He only got in 2 games, wasn't going to get the starting job when Wanstead got here. He said, I just wanted to play. So goodbye, Pitt. Went to Delaware. Ended up playing a couple of seasons. Runner-up for the national title to Appalachian State last year. Moved up the draft board, first rounder. Rolling, nothing coming with him. Picking up blockers. Can he find something on the opposite side? Long time to keep it alive. And complete to Mason. Wow, first down. Gain of 26.
You know, we do have the drop clock as a part of our arsenal. That thing may be about 15 seconds. This incredible job by Joe Flacco. Here, nothing there. He's looking at the route to the outside. Now, normally when you get in this situation, you want to see the quarterback throw it away, not take a hit. Well, Joe comes back the other way, still eyes downfield, looking to throw, not to run, and finds Derek Mason. You talk about extending the play. That may be as good as Donovan McNabb did on a Monday night a few years back.
McNabb was 14 seconds in Dallas. That was about 7.5 to 8 seconds, I think. McClain, nothing there. Willis McGahee getting x-rays on his chest, so it'll be a lot of McClain in the second half.
Let's go back to the notion of Flacco, who thought that it might take until the second round, late in the second day of the draft for him to be drafted because he was coming out of Delaware and not everybody knew who he was. He was surprised to go in the first round, obviously. He had hoped to just get a shot somewhere in the NFL. Certainly didn't think he'd be starting by game 1 in his rookie year, and probably can't believe that at the moment he's taking it to the Pittsburgh Steelers on national TV on Monday night where nobody even knew his name 4 months ago.
McClain got a nice block from the veteran Lorenzo Neal before James Farrier could clean it up for the tackle at the 37. Well, third down coming up.
That particular play, he kept that alive so long, Usain Bolt could have won the 200 and taken a victory lap. That's how long he kept that alive. At the beginning of the game, Mike, we talked about the surprise of the Baltimore Ravens. I was certainly very skeptical. I didn't think they'd beaten anybody so far. But if they go into Pittsburgh and beat Pittsburgh, that's a great win for the Ravens.
As Steeler running back Rashard Mendenhall gets carted off to be checked out with that shoulder, I assume. It's 3rd and 4 on the field, and Flacco's pass is deflected by Nick Eason, one of the 5 D linemen active for the Steelers tonight. And there goes the rookie out of Illinois, Mendenhall, arm or shoulder.
Cart's getting a lot of use tonight.
Yeah,
a lot.
Left shoulder, they say, from the Steelers sideline, questionable. From here, a field goal would be 53 yards. That's the back end of Matt Stover's range. He missed from 47 and 48. Just out of range, so they'll try with Sam Cook to pin the Steelers inside the 10. Slowly Moore signals the fair catch. Will die at the 6. And in a game that Mike Tomlin said field goals and net punting very important, big net punting edge to the Ravens.
That's Ben. He's not happy at all.
Things have gone pretty well for Mike Tomlin's first year plus as the Steelers head coach. But in the end of last year, the playoff loss at home to Jacksonville. And now the first real offensive drought that his team has seen in his 2 years as head coach. Drive started at the 7. Roethlisberger throw complete, 2-yard shy of the first down, Hines Ward.
You know, Mike, last week Pittsburgh had trouble picking up the blitz from Philadelphia. They struggle on this one. Here you see Marvell Smith. He has to stay in and block. You'll see Kerry Davis has to stay in and block. That means Corey Ivy is going to have the edge with no one blocking him at Ben Roethlisberger. The ball must come out. This is a hot read. Look at the triangle there. Once the blitz comes, Ray Lewis must come from the inside and cover Hines Ward. The ball must come out. It doesn't. Consequently, Corey Ivy gets the sack on Ben Roethlisberger.
After Ward's first catch, no Mendenhall, so Davis has to run it. First down, they get across the 20. That's a big deal for these guys. First down they picked up in a half dozen drives. Well, you talk about Roethlisberger and the pressure, how often he's been sacked. 4th most in the NFL since 2004. And some of that, as you guys alluded to, Jaws, offensive line change, and Tony, you alluded to the criticism, Ben holding on the ball sometimes too long.
You know, your great strength is your great weakness. He's big and he's strong, and he can take a hit, and maybe he takes too many of them.
And you have to include the wide receivers. They have to read coverage with the same eyes the quarterback does.
Davis loses a couple of yards. Jaws pointed this out during a timeout. Justin Bannett, 94, has spent half the game on the Steelers side of the ball. 7th year out of Colorado. He's replacing Kelly Gregg, who's usually the nose guard, but he's been out, hasn't played in 08. Bannon's done a great job tonight.
Well, the defensive line, it's all about penetration. At 3-4, it's almost a 2-gap technique. You are going belly to belly with one of those offensive linemen the entire game. Bannon's been terrific, but so is Haloti Ngata and Trevor Price. They've been outstanding up front. It's going to be pressure again.
And a run against it, nowhere to go for Davis as Terrell Suggs is in there. And the fans are getting on the Steelers here. They're trying to establish some run to take a little bit of the heat off of Ben. But let's remember, Willie Parker, the knee injury, out for the next couple of games. See, the running total is low. They turn to the rookie, Rashard Mendenhall, the first-round pick. You saw him go up to the locker room to get his left shoulder looked at. So Davis, really mostly a fullback, is the guy who's now the back. Noel Moore is their 3rd down back, and now he's in the game. It's almost irrelevant who's in the backfield. The game is being played in the Steeler backfield by the defensive line of the Baltimore Ravens. Here they all come, and a flag.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
I think one of the reasons that people expect more out of Ben Roethlisberger is look what he has delivered already. He won a Super Bowl in, I believe, only his 2nd year. Last year, he was the number 2 rated passer behind Tom Brady in the whole league. He had 32 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. He was great. And so they look at him, they know the contract, and they say, okay, we understand you don't have a running back. We understand people are hurt, but you're great. Lead us out of this. Maybe the expectations are too high, but maybe he's earned them over the past few years.
3rd and 16, Ravens bring the same pressure right up the middle, away from Tom Zibikowski, and throws through the arms of Santonio Holmes. Incomplete. The Golden Domer couldn't get to him, but Holmes couldn't squeeze it, and the Steelers punt again.
Yeah, once again, this is a pressure that Pittsburgh saw last week. Blitzes through that A-gap. Again, Zibikowski comes in untouched. Ben is fortunate enough to be able to avoid the rush, but he misses the crossing route to Santonio Holmes.
Well, the Steelers did pick up a first down on that series for the first time since their 7th snap of the game. Flag is down as this punt, which was poor off the foot, will end up back inside the 40. And we'll check a couple of flags. Baltimore dropped Ed Reed back to return that punt. Reed, who scored 9 touchdowns, multiple forms, interception returns, fumble returns, punt return we saw last year.
That's like going for the knockout,
12 men
isn't
on the
it?
field on the return team. Penalty is declined. First down, Baltimore. Timeout.
Pittsburgh Steelers, 4 first downs. Pittsburgh and Green Bay would be 1 and 2 in the league for the most jerseys worn to a game. And all the fans seem to come in their jerseys. Steelers are wearing the old school ones, and it looks like an offense from another generation tonight. Willis McGahee back in the game after the x-rays on the chest injury. Hard to believe the way he went out that he would be back in to take more of that.
It's a glutton for punishment now.
Jaws?
Well, we got to look at this one. Joe Flacco in the shotgun right here. Get that release clock working, guys. Here he finds nothing downfield, sprints his left. He's going to go out of bounds. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to come back, extending the play, looking to make a play downfield. The clock is still running. 12.4 seconds. He finds Derek Mason for the complete. Almost a Monday Night Football record. Donovan McNabb had 14 seconds on the release clock.
That was an NBA jump stop right there. That was great.
I thought this guy wasn't elusive. I thought he didn't have moves.
Yeah, Aaron Smith doesn't think that, but what I loved about the entire play, his eyes were downfield. He was looking to throw the football. A lot of quarterbacks get in the edge, extend the play, they take off and run. I love the fact that Flacco was looking downfield.
Chris Hoke had to come out of the game for a second for the Steelers. They only dressed 5 linemen for the game tonight. Hoke out for a moment gets him down to 4. 2nd and 9. Flacco's out for Mason that they've hit a few times. Incomplete. We kind of alluded to this in the first half of Roethlisberger and Flacco, where you can make comparisons on the teams that they come to, but even go backwards a little bit. Big quarterbacks, not thought to be very mobile. Tony, we were talking about this last night. Yes, Ben Roethlisberger went to Miami of Ohio, and we saw more of him
yes, he
in
had
college.
some publicity.
But still guys who you question the competition they played in college.
Absolutely.
Would they be good enough, let alone good enough to jump right into the deep end? And Ben did, and Flacco's doing it in the first month of the season.
But always with the same thing, the notion that an offensive coordinator wants them to manage the game, doesn't want to get them in trouble in the first few games that they play.
3rd and 9, a deep ball for Mark Clayton. Meet Troy Polamalu. 4th down.
You know, Mike, when you get into the quarterback discussion, you know, you talk about Roethlisberger, you talk about Flacco. People want to talk about mobility, extending the play. That's all great stuff. You've got to be able to throw the football, number 1. You got to be able to read coverage, number 2. Number 3, get it out of your hand. If you have the running ability to extend the play, that's great. But you have to do the other 3 things first. And it all starts with being able to throw the football.
Part of the difference, too, was that Roethlisberger went to a great team. Flacco has not gone yet to a great team.
We may not know
they're getting good.
Sam Cook kicking it for the sideline. His worst kick of what has otherwise been a very good night. Remember that Roethlisberger play back in the first half?
Way back in the first half.
The second drive for Pittsburgh, where he threw that interception, that ball that you really didn't know what he was trying to do. They haven't had the ball this deep since then. Everything's happened inside the 30 up until now. From the 33, first decent field position in a while. In reverse, Nate Washington got away from Jarrett Johnson and able to make a gain on the play, and Johnson, that'll cost him.
Yeah, Jarrett Johnson with a push on Hines Ward. The play was clearly over. He's going to get tacked 15 onto that one. And Hines is loving it. Hey, come on, bring it on. Because Hines will go back and hit him now.
That's a stupid play.
Well,
it is a play. Personal foul. Defense, number 95. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the first down.
That is a silly play. Remember the game we saw the Ravens and the undefeated Patriots that went down to the final minute, and Jabbar Gaffney caught the touchdown to keep the perfect season alive. The meltdown that followed that has been a problem for the Ravens defense at times. That fine line of aggression and not seeing when they go over it.
That was Bart Scott last year.
Bart Scott picked up and threw the flag, among other things.
All right, the Steelers have changed up. They've gone to the no huddle. You got to do something. They haven't done a darn thing. So now they're going to pick up the tempo of the game. You know, see if they can get that offense jump started. Rated out 3 wide receivers, 1 back.
They introduced themselves to Raven territory for the first time since the first drive. And Davis runs it inside to the 42-yard line. Getting down to their 3rd back with Parker and Mendenhall out with injuries from last week and tonight, respectively. Terry Davis, undrafted, went to Illinois, worked in the sports information department, picking out the cover for the program while he was playing for the Illini.
I hope he put himself on the cover.
He did.
Smart by him.
Good. I think it was homecoming weekend that he put himself on the cover.
Smart, great.
Roethlisberger keeping. You saw no space there, Jaws, and just able to get positive yardage out of it. It'll be 3rd and 4.
It's a good job by Ben. Sometimes you see those wide tackles. You just give that little sugar huddle right to the center and take it right up the middle. Again, staying with the no huddle, spreading the field.
Steelers have always been good, or the last couple of years with Ben, in this no huddle.
Empty backfield, usually inviting a blitz.
And 6 Ravens come. Ben got rid of it. Caught. Santonio Holmes, touchdown. Yards, and maybe that Jarrett Johnson penalty changes the momentum along with the no huddle.
Yeah, I believe the no huddle really played a significant part in that drive. Sometimes you just got to go out and play football, take the thinking out. That's what they did. They went with the little no huddle, get the ball, get the line up on the ball, and let's go play. Nice job by Santonio Holmes right here. Good job by Ben Roethlisberger of finding him, and good yards after the catch by Holmes.
Maybe in Washington went for the ball and missed it. Chris McAllister missed the tackle. And for the first time in a long time, a Steeler touchdown. Going back to the second quarter of the second game this year.
Here's what happens when you go to the no huddle. That's a recognition by the coaching staff that we have to try something new. This is a home game for us and we're getting crushed. Let's do something new now.
And it worked. Re-energized. They found those terrible towels at halftime.
Half of them were on eBay.
Things in the country, their value things is plummeting by the second. 13-10, back in the team ball game. Yaman Figures hit it, got a seam, and he almost broke it free. Figures brought down at the 29. Well, the key play, perhaps, in that touchdown drive, this 15-yard flag on Jarrett Johnson, his 6th year in the league, 82 games, the first time he picked up a 15-yard personal foul penalty, and John Harbaugh was right in the ear hole of his linebacker, telling him how bad a mistake. And Hines Ward, who has the ability to get under your skin, did it, and it worked.
You could clearly read lips on Harbaugh saying, do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Pressure back on Flacco and the Baltimore offense. Tack, ball out, it's live. It's recovered and untouched. Woodley scores. There's a flag in the end zone. It will go with the taunting and celebration at the back end of the play. The touchdown will count and the Steelers lead.
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. Only one member of the Steelers jumped into this. There is no foul. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Can't have multiple guys. Can't have
the Lambeau leap.
Can't do it.
Yeah. Or the Hines hurdle, I guess it would be.
Very good. Fairly quick turnaround in this game,
Wow.
Wouldn't you say?
2 and 15 seconds.
Yes.
And just like that, down 10, up 4.
Well, we were seeing the praises of Joe Flacco, ability to get the ball out of his hand. Hold on to the ball. That's always good. Get in this situation, got to get the ball in. He's waiting, nothing open, moves out the pocket. James Harrison comes around the backside, makes the play. Lamar Woodley picks it up, takes it to the house. You'll see Harrison right. Look at the shot he's got on Flacco and the ball. Evidently, Harrison saw the football, knocked it out of his hand, takes Joe Flacco down in the play. Look at Flacco's head snap back from the jarring hit by James Harrison, and look at Woodley. He sees the football. That's the key. Right now, Woodley knows the ball is loose. It gets kicked out. He's going to pick it up, and he sees nothing but that end zone.
Like, Joe, I'm James. Hi, welcome to the NFL.
And Woodley, the former Defensive Player of the Year at Michigan, won the Lombardi Award, won the Hendricks Award, Best Defensive End. He had an interception against Cleveland. He said, I never had an interception in the NFL or college or high school or midget football. Well, now he has his first National Football League touchdown, and the Steelers 9 points in the previous 6 quarters.
It's incredible.
In a quarter of a minute, score 14.
That column that I told you everybody was starting to write at the end of the half, that column is gone at the moment.
Right.
That one's gone.
What a turnaround. Look at this crowd. They are back into the game. And you got to look back at the Jared Johnson penalty. Was that one that ignited the
really
Steelers?
Stupid.
Short kick, got to get on it. Recover picked up by Lorenzo Neal. Brought down by Anthony Madison.
All right, here comes that hostile environment that we were talking about. This game is turned around 180 degrees. It's all Steelers right now. Defensive touchdown. Flacco just made a mistake. Now you find out about your young quarterback. How does he deal with adversity in this environment?
From the 26, McLean, gain of about 3.5. It's enjoyable to watch. Not the continued exam process. Flacco comes out, win their first 2 games. They have a lead, get a lead here, and now adversity sets in on the road for the first time for John Harbaugh as a head coach and for his quarterback.
It was getting near that point at 13-3 where you could say if it went 3 or 4 minutes further, the Baltimore defense could win the game, could shut it down. Flacco wouldn't have to throw. They'd run a little bit. They'd kill the clock. It would be over. Now for the first time all year in the second half, they're in a bad way, Baltimore.
Play clock, timeout.
Baltimore, 30-second timeout.
And now you're seeing a team be flustered, right? I mean, not only do they make the bad play, the fumble that leads to a touchdown, but now they come out, they can't run the play. So you're seeing rookie coach, rookie quarterback, certain amount of being flustered, Jaws?
No question about it. You know, the environment here, the noise that comes into play, the communication, all begins to break down slightly. Before we get back to that Ravens offense, I got to give some props to Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. This offense stunk for that first half. They came out, played 40 the first drive of the third quarter. They go to the no huddle. The spark works. Sometimes you got to go to a radical change, try to ignite your football team. The Steelers bought into that approach and went right down the field and scored.
You don't want to mince words. You want to go, it stunk.
Yeah.
There you go.
They had 46 yards at halftime.
I respect.
Sometimes you got to have clarity.
I like that.
Rush, Flacco hit. Almost deflected to Ryan Clark. James Harrison again right in the face of the quarterback. Harrison has become a Monday Night legend, hasn't he? He had the 3.5 sack game last year against the Ravens. This quarter, Flacco's 1 of 6, and he'll have 65,000 people yelling at him here for third down. Play clock again. Just got it off. Be careful, the ball's out again. Recovered by Marshall Yanda, the guard. And the Steeler defense heard from.
You see Flacco walk off there. But First time under duress in the NFL and not doing well right now at all.
You're beginning to see the importance of ball security. You're beginning to see a rookie quarterback in his third start. Protect the football. There's bodies flying around. Put the ball away. Take the sack. Don't turn it over. You see once again Flacco waving the ball around. This is the experience he's going to have to go through.
It's not
before he learns
Monmouth,
to protect the football.
He's not playing Monmouth anymore.
Beautiful kick by Cook. Goodness, that's over 60 yards. Santonio Holmes, touchdown a moment ago. Out of bounds at the 39-yard line. 61-yard punt. 13 on the return. The Steeler defense after him.
Yeah, Lamar Woodley, Aaron Smith. You can't get to Joe Flacco quick enough right now. He can't put his back foot in the ground. Defenders around him. Right here, you know the play is over. Put the ball away, Joe. Don't turn the football over. You already made one critical mistake in giving the Steelers a touchdown. Don't compound it by trying to make a play. Sometimes a punt is good. This is still only a 4-point game.
That ball way away from him, giving everybody the opportunity as opposed to close to his body to just accept the sack. And Cam Cameron coached Miami last year. Only team they beat was Baltimore. Roethlisberger takes over at the 39. First down, gain of 11, Nate Washington midfield.
I want to go back to something. I want to ask you a question, Jaws, and please don't wear that no-shirt look at any time during the booth. Do you think it's possible that when he made that scramble, when Flacco made that scramble, that 12, 14-second scramble, that he began to think, I'm invincible, this is my night, I can do whatever I need out here?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he probably felt pretty good about the play, but I don't think that defined this game for him.
Even though he's holding the ball recklessly.
Well, he's holding recklessly, no question to that, but that's the learning experience he's going to go through as a young quarterback. Steelers staying with that no huddle. Good approach. Hey, it worked. Stay with it. That ain't broke. Don't fix it.
Well, it was broke and they fixed it.
That was earlier.
That's right.
And as all, Ben has also gone to the quicker drops, and I think that will help that offensive line as well. The deep drops, they weren't working.
47, Davis, Ray Lewis in the backfield. Loss of 2. Ron, when they go to the no huddle, what does that do to hamper Baltimore's defensive scheme?
Well, I think the key is what it does. It defines what they want to do, not necessarily what the Ravens want to do. It spreads out the defense. You can see it with clarity, where the blitzes will be coming from. And the Ravens have been coming with a high percentage of blitz. So I think by spreading them out, really showed Ben where they would be coming from if they were going to his hand.
The Super Bowl MVP has 9 tackles tonight. 3rd and 8. Extra DB in for the Ravens. The 5 are picked up. Roethlisberger's pass is incomplete. Jared Johnson clogging up the passing lane, and the Ravens even put the stop sign up on the momentum running Steelers.
That time the Steelers offensive line did a good job. Ben had time in the pocket to deliver the football down the field, to drive off that back foot, but give that Ravens secondary and linebackers covering underneath. Good job.
Good high kick by Berger in his career. Been good at pinning the opponents inside the 10. And we'll get him down to the 8. It's Berger kicking with his 7th different NFL team. How this whole thing spun around and quickly. The Jared Johnson 15-yarder. Yard flag of his career. Flag set up the Steelers out of the no huddle. Santonio Holmes shakes 2 tackles, gets in for the touchdown. Then Baltimore gets it back. James Harrison knocks it out of Flacco's hand. Lamar Woodley scooped it and scored it. 2 touchdowns, 15 seconds. From down 10 to up 4. And in the process, the field has flipped, where Baltimore had the field position advantage. Ray Lewis's defense has had the shorter fields here the last couple of trips. They're on McLean, the carry. Good run back there near your own end zone. Gain of 6. That'll bring the 3rd quarter to an end. All 14 in the quarter scored by Pittsburgh. They lead by 4 to the 4th. He gets set to begin the 4th quarter.
You know the only thing that's missing from this game? Snow. Snow would be great right now.
Ron McClain with the carry, going to be a couple of yards shy of the first down. We have 3rd and 2 coming up. Ron, take me over to that Baltimore sideline, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. How do you handle this sudden turn of emotion?
Stay with the plan. There's no need to panic right now. It's a 17-13 game, only a 4-point deficit. You want to keep calm. The worst thing you can do is panic in this situation. Try to flip the field a little bit. Get yourself up near that 30, 40-yard line on this drive if you don't score. This is a big play right here. If they want to sustain offense, they've got to convert this 3rd down to a 1st down.
3 and out, turnover, 3 and out their last 3 drives.
And once again, an empty backfield, no one in the backfield except Flacco. It'll be a quick drop, and the ball's batted.
Batted down, Larry Foote coming in, the linebacker, and it forces 4th down. Another 3 and out.
Excellent job by the Steelers against this empty, bringing heat. You see Foote come in untouched. Flacco's got to learn from a different platform, kind of throw around that blitz. As the experienced quarterback in this game mature, they realize you got people in your face. It may not be the perfect prototypical come over the top throw. Sometimes you got to throw around that oncoming defender to get the completion.
Another Sam Cook punt. More returnable, 49 yards. Santonio Holmes turned it upfield and got 6 on the takeback. And Ravens player shaken up on the return. Man who was involved in the tackle went right down.
You see Mike Tomlin on the screen. Last week, it sort of dissolved for the Steelers against Philadelphia. And Roethlisberger took 8 sacks, and there was chaos on the sideline that Tomlin talked about, and he had to learn how to calm that down. And tonight, not faced with a chaotic situation on the sideline, but faced with a potential loss of a home game to a division team that you don't expect is going to happen, he was very calm. He came out of the half, right? No, came out of the half.
You don't think it was chaotic at halftime?
I think he came out of the half and they knew what they were doing when they went to the no huddle.
Antoine Barnes, the injured player, will be right back. Just across the river from downtown Pittsburgh, Antoine Barnes, the injured player, is able to come off mostly under his own power. Steelers take over with decent field position again, leading by 4. Harry Davis is the back. Mendenhall hurt early in this quarter. The rookie Richard has not returned. A gain of 2. Tony, back to your conversation before the timeout.
Yeah, we were talking about Tomlin, and this in his 2nd year, and maybe a critical juncture in his 2nd year as his team begins to be inept offensively. But we were talking about the difference his 1st year and 2nd year. And he said that last year I was evaluating everyone and everything, and he used this great phrase, now I've had a lap around the track. It's a beautiful phrase, and after this play we'll get to the other great phrase that he used about the differences between being a head coach for the first time, having been only a position coach prior to that.
And back to the huddle on this drive. Go back to the empty set. Ravens rush 4, and Ben Flush going to take off. A flag down as he gets a would-be 1st down at midfield. Bart Scott finally brings him down. Let's see what the flag is for.
Looks like defensive holding, but Ben was also outside the pocket.
Had a couple of flags picked up tonight.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal formation. Offense, number 86, was not on the line. Also holding. Defense, number 52. Penalties offset. Replay 2nd down.
We got time to do this because you see Tomlin on the screen again. He talked about the difference when you have a head coaching job. That's the first time that you always have someone on the grass. You're responsible for offense and defense and special teams, the field being the grass. And he said you have to pick moments every once in a while to turn away from the grass and talk to the player sitting on a bench. Somebody might need a little consoling. Somebody might need a little bit of a pep talk. I just thought that phrase was so flowery and so exact at the same time, to talk about on the grass like that. Hard not to like Tomlin. Hard not to be impressed with his command of the language and his command of a team.
Yeah, and I love the lap around the track. You know, you can't fool him anymore. He's been around the track.
Yeah, he's a very impressive guy. And he feels better right now than he felt in the first half, I guarantee you that.
You got that right.
Steeler timeout. I don't know about the Friends, but we have the Rowdy here tonight, that's for sure. Pittsburgh called the timeout. By the way, they've played the second half without Kendall Simmons, their starting right guard. Darnell Stapleton, free agent out of Rutgers, in his second year has stepped in, done a decent job. Pressure on Roethlisberger, got rid of the hit, wide open. Nate Washington, cut back and down at the 10. And Roethlisberger able to elude a would-be sack with that size and get a gain of 49.
That's the good Ben right there, to get away from the untouched defender. Clearly Adam, he got away, found Hines Ward down the field. This is an outstanding job by Ben Roethlisberger as Bart Scott comes in clean, whiffs on the tackle. Ben stays on his feet, finds Hines Ward down the field. What a terrific play by Ben Roethlisberger. That's the good Ben Roethlisberger by holding on to the ball, extending the play.
My mistake was Hines Ward, not Washington. I apologize to take it down to the 10.
All right, Mike, your first mistake of the year.
Weldy Moore is the back. Flag stops the play. Timeout, Pittsburgh. They were having problems with the tackle, Marvell Smith, who was hurt on that prior play, and perhaps that's where the timeout came from.
Second charge timeout of the half. Pittsburgh.
Steelers have it at the 10, leading by 4. We'll be right back. Interesting comments from Terrell Owens. The guys had a lot to say about that on Monday Night Countdown. Chris Carter and Keyshawn Johnson chiming in as well.
Just play ball, Mike. Just play ball.
Cannot get a first down, so it's first and goal. Changes to something he likes. Davis run to the right. Ray Lewis has him for his 10th tackle. Gain it 2. Ron, you talk about what Ben does so well.
Yeah, there's risk-reward. Holding on to the football. Look at this play by Ben Roethlisberger. He escapes the pressure from Bart Scott. Eyes downfield, and he's going to find the big play to Hines Ward. Really, really good job hanging in the pocket.
You talk about big quarterback, 6'5", 240. His passer rating, taking all the stats into account, best in the NFL when contacted by the defense. And he's done it tonight just as well as those numbers usually bear out for his 4 years. Second and goal. Time, flag. First row.
At some point, you are the quarterback who you are. Everybody knows what that means for somebody like Brett Favre or Kurt Warner, that they're not going to manage again. You're going to throw it, throw it, throw it. Ben Roethlisberger, that statistic about how good he is when he's contacted.
Holding, defense, number 91.
Your first down.
Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
When you have a statistic like that, and when you're 6'5" and about 250, and you can take a hit, you say, that's who I am. And so it's always going to be dicey, Jaws. He's always going to hang in there, often a little bit too long, but he's going to be able to make that great play because he has that body that allows him to do it. And it's in his head. That's who he is as a quarterback now.
And there's a confidence to his game that he feels he can make those plays.
Yep.
2 tight ends in the game. And really the third, McHugh, is the fullback here. Gonna throw for it. Got himself under pressure. There's no receiver over there. The question is, out of the tackle box, the question of grounding, and he was out of there, so it's second down.
You know, Mike, you did mention the 2 tight ends on the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and McHugh in the fullback spot, who's also a tight end. In this game, they have used a lot of 2 tight ends or more, particularly after Kendall Simmons went out. I believe they wanted more protection for Ben Roethlisberger. Except when they spread the field, goes 3 and 4 wide, they've been a predominant 2 tight end offense.
Hines Ward comes out, so they changed the defensive personnel package for the Ravens. Run with Moore. Down toward the 1. Bart Scott and Ray Lewis right in the middle of it.
The heavy package coming back on the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
From Weldy Moore, he had only one run here in the first few games. Guy was the third down back for 4 years with the Vikings. As mentioned, that heavy package, it includes Max Starks, another offensive tackle in there, 78. Eligible receiver, so he's okay on the end of the line. Moore, right, not there. And much like last night's Eagles-Bears game, it's 17-13 here. A field goal puts you up 7. Even though you're at the 1 yard line, this is the right call.
Absolutely, Mike. You take the points right here. Get 3 on the board, give yourself a 1 touchdown lead. Great job by the Ravens defense here. They moved the line of scrimmage into the Steeler backfield. Outstanding penetration. Ray Lewis down on the bottom of that pile making the play.
You said from your film study that Ray Lewis has not lost a step. And he's got a dozen tackles here tonight. 13th year in the league, age 33.
Yeah, Mike, he came into this game, this game with 2,014 career tackles. Added to that.
So a 19-yard field goal for Jeff Reed. And the Steelers have a touchdown lead with 9:19 to go. Talk about Ray Lewis and still playing at a high level. It's been a long and great career for Ray Lewis, 9 times the Pro Bowl. We asked him his personal top 5 moments. He's at Super Bowl MVP there, the 50-yard interception in the playoff on the run to the Super Bowl, that #1 defense, the 13-3 team, twice the Defensive Player of the Year, and earning his degree eventually from the University of Maryland. Where
like a chaplain to about 100 players. It's true.
Yaman figures from a yard deep. Only going to get to the 23 as Anthony Madison makes his second special teams tackle.
Yeah, Mike, and I told you when I looked at the tape of Ray Lewis, he looked like a rookie, making plays all over the field. There, he got blocked a little bit. You don't see that too often. But his ability to diagnose a play quickly is really key to his success. Then he has the quickness and ability to take advantage of that diagnosis. Still playing at an amazing high level.
And you
after
may,
13 seasons.
You may wonder down at the goal line, why did they go with Weldy Moore and not Kerry Davis? The other, he was going off to the locker room. So another Steeler running back got hurt. That's why the big back wasn't in at the goal line, and Lewis made the tackle on Moore. Baltimore has 1-5. McGahee's still out. LeRon McClain's the back. 2 yards.
It's amazing how the tempo of the Steeler defense has picked up. I mean, it's like a different football team right now. You could just see their enthusiasm on the field, hustling to the ball carrier. I mean, you don't see one gold hat. You see many gold hats.
Mark Clayton's been very quiet, receiver at the top tonight. It's been a lot of Derek Mason. Caught it at the 40 for the first down. About a half dozen catches now for Mason.
This is the position I think that Mike Tomlin wanted Baltimore to be in late in the game, needing to score and needing to depend on a rookie quarterback. You know, making Joe Flacco the story of the game for the first time all year because he's had leads before. So,
yeah, and a good job by Cam Cameron, his play calling right there. He went back to a play that he used early in the game that was successful. Repeat the good plays in your play calling.
Second first down of the half, and a nice job tiptoeing through the hole and then powering through the would-be tackle. McClain steamrolled Polamalu and got the first down across midfield.
Pittsburgh's lost a lot of big bodies. The ones who are out there aren't that many out there, and they've got to be tired, right? They're at this point,
well, they only have 5 defensive linemen.
That's the whole point.
They're wearing down a bit.
At this point in the game, if you have a good running attack, you are in the best position to use it.
And give it to a guy that weighs 260 pounds with quick feet. Why not?
Inflict some punishment, sure.
McClain has had some good fourth quarters already this year. The Cincinnati game comes to mind. Harrison couldn't get there off the edge, and Mason has his 7th catch. He's now close to 100 yards in receiving. And a first down for Baltimore, trying to get a game-tying touchdown with 7 minutes left.
Really good job by Joe Flacco there. The one thing I've noticed, I've watched Joe throughout the first 2 games that he's played, he's able to identify isolation routes to the outside. In other words, when a wide receiver is going to have one-on-one coverage, he does a really good job. It could be man or it could be zone in the secondary, but he reads the isolation routes and throws the route with great confidence.
Mason caught 103 balls last year, 103 yards tonight. McClain, Polamalu, you're not getting away this time. Deer wrestle you down there to the 35. You know who's enjoying this game? Who's rooting for a tying touchdown and a long overtime?
Tony Kornheiser.
No.
No, that you'd be wrong on that. No, not for OT.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Because a Monday night to a Sunday is tough. After a physical Monday night game, it's really tough. How about playing Jacksonville in Jacksonville, which the Steelers do next Sunday night? Tennessee and home. Physical teams when you're up. They're saying, keep going, guys. Second and 8. Woodley compresses the pocket, and Flacco goes down for a loss of 5. Lamar Woodley and James Harrison are having a night and a half here tonight.
Mike, that was a great word, compress, because that's exactly what happened. You'll see Woodley, number 56. He's on the big old fullback there. And I'll tell you what, Lorenzo Neal is a great blocker, but he just pushes him back. Now you look at Harrison. He's on Gaither. He just pushes him out of the way.
Woodley now 2.5 sacks. Third down. Stunt is picked up, and the throw again, it's Mason. Got a block, Derek Mason. First and goal, Baltimore at the 5. The gain is 35, and Deshae Townsend couldn't get it done.
Did you hear how quiet the crowd got after that completion? You see that?
Once again, a great job by Joe Flacco. You can see the Ravens go to 7-man protection. They're going to allow this play to develop deep down the field, and once again, the arm strength of Joe Flacco. That's a tight window to get the football into. He squeezes it in. What a great job.
Mason's been great tonight. LaRon McClain down to 2, 4:37 to go. You kind of be thinking touchdown down here this late in the game for John Harbaugh, so maybe a decision is a few plays away for the rookie head coach. Ben may have a tie game to deal with if the rookie Flacco can get it done for the Ravens.
And the Ravens bring in their heavy offensive package, and it is a heavy offensive package. All tight ends and basically fullbacks, Lorenzo Neal and LaRon McClain.
McClain bouncing. What a power run to the end zone. Touchdown.
He just ran over Lawrence Timmons. McClain at 260, down from 278 when he reported in training camp. Just ran over Lawrence Timmons, 234 pounds. You'll see it right here, coming right into your living room. You see the pull by Marshall Yonda coming around. Daniel Wilcox with the block. And now here's going to come the power run around the corner. Good job on the interior. Timmons comes up to make the play on McClain. Oh, get out of the way. Get out of the way. What a great run by LaRon McClain.
That's the happiest guy in the ballpark, Ray Lewis. He doesn't usually see offense like that. He's been on this team for about 43 years, and he doesn't see drives like that in the fourth quarter when his team is behind. There haven't been probably 5 of them in the last 10 years.
This extra point to tie the game at 20. And good. That was a guy 6'1", 234, who LaRon McClain put his shoulder down and said, see you in the end zone in a tie game. Back in Pittsburgh, it's the Allegheny River. It's right beyond the open end of the stadium, the Monongahela, just out of your picture. They meet right there at the confluence and form the Ohio. And for many years at that confluence, we've seen great games in this division. Hard-nosed games, Browns, Steelers, Ravens, and It continues here, all tied at 20, and now Ben Roethlisberger and Ray Lewis will take to the grass, as Mike Tomlin likes to say.
It's a great little phrase. He's flamboyantly articulate. Love to hear him talk.
Returnable kickoff from the 7, Muelde Moore, the only healthy running back left for the Steelers. Taken down 30 by Marcus Smith.
Let's go back after that last drive that Baltimore made. There's Flacco, who led the drive. He's a rookie quarterback. You got a rookie head coach in Harbaugh. You got a first-year coordinator in Cam Cameron, who wants to make sure that Flacco doesn't get out of a comfort zone. The Baltimore Ravens don't make those drives on offense. They haven't for the last 10 years, especially not led by rookies. They don't go down the field in a hostile environment, down a touchdown, and actually score. They've scored on defense, not on offense. This would be very new for them.
Pittsburgh has 1 timeout left. Moore runs to the right. He's going to gain about 6 yards. Let me just go through the laundry list here. As we keep saying, because of the knee injury. Rashard Mendenhall injured his shoulder at the start of the second half, and then Carey Davis injured his left ankle. His return is questionable. So Moore, the 3rd down back, 4 years with the Vikings, comes over as a free agent. It's the only running back Mike Tomlin has right now. We could be looking at a game that goes to overtime.
You don't think Franco's in the neighborhood that he could sign him in a hurry?
No. They did have the legends here tonight.
That's right. Moore going to gain about 1.5 yards here. We'll have 3rd down coming up with 3:13 to go. And the Steelers staying in their no huddle. A 4-minute drill is something teams do often to try to, in the middle of practice week, simulate closing out a game with a drive to win. It's exactly what Pittsburgh's trying to do. Timeout, Baltimore. Ed Reed is mad at Bart Scott for calling timeout. So is Corey Ivan. Each team 1 left. Well, Cincinnati and Cleveland have not had a good start to the season. Cleveland finally getting a win over Cincinnati last week. The Bengals are 0-4. Cincinnati is at 1-3. If the Ravens get this win tonight, 3-0, and as you guys said before, 3-0 in the division. Now, the schedule got messed up because of the hurricane, and they've got to play 15 in a row, but you win 3 division games, that says something.
And we learned something about this team tonight. I mean, the Ravens are a good football team. We knew what they had defensively. They're rock solid on the defensive side of the football. I love the way Cam Cameron called this game. He wasn't trying to hide his young quarterback in his first start on the road in the National Football League. He asked him to make plays, and for the most part, he did.
Mike, you talk about 15 games in a row. We have to do 16.
Yes, we do.
Come on.
Empty backfield for Roethlisberger on 3rd and 3. Looking left toward Moore. Got it. 1st down, and Bart Scott a step and a half late. The drive stays alive with 2:42 to go.
See, the difference between a Baltimore Ravens drive and the one that they just did and this would be that Ben Roethlisberger has done this repeatedly in his career, knows how to do it, and you sort of expect him to do it.
It's familiarity with the situation. Yeah. Roethlisberger, you said, Tony, has been there. He still has to see the field with clarity. He did on that big 3rd down play to Muelde Moore just a moment ago.
Just need a couple of 1st downs to get into field goal range, and Moore bouncing it toward the outside, gets to the 47, and that should take us to the 2-minute warning. So you figure the Steelers need about 20 yards to get in field goal range with a chance to win it against the Ravens. 2 minutes, 1 timeout. Needing about 20 yards to get into Jeff Reed's field goal range. 2nd down, Roethlisberger from Muelde Moore went up and tried to make a terrific catch and couldn't do it. 3rd down coming up, clock stops, $1:53. Frame of reference, no rush, no adrenaline, but Reed's long in the pregame, 53 yards. Made one earlier with a little more comfort in the game. Jeff just taking a peek at the wind. there's really not much. That red line there at the 36 would get you to where it would be a 53-yard field goal, the longest he made going that way in warm-up. So you can see that red line, that's essentially field goal range.
And there actually is a little bit of a helping wind if he does have to kick one in that direction.
First third down and 5. Dan over the middle, deflected, incomplete. Was it Ray who got a hand on it?
It was
Santonio
Ray.
Holmes was the guy who was going to get open. And now they punt with $1:49 to go.
Well, Ray did an incredible job. Ray Lewis, we're talking about, has been pumped to the right, as you'll see here, to throw the quick slant. He comes back to his left, and Ray Lewis is right in the line of fire. Got his hand up on that ball. Ray did not bite the pump fake to the right. Good discipline.
Mitch Berger to kick. Steelers have some issues with the number of guys out there. They have 10 guys out there?
Yes.
3, 4, 5. Well, something Mitch Berger didn't like.
5-yard penalty.
Delay.
4th down.
Ten looked like 10.
It was 10.
I counted 10.
No, yeah, it was 10.
Weldy Moore wasn't out there.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I mean, I've been doing everything as a running back here. I'm the only one you have. Can you give me a break? So it'll be interesting to see where they get the ball and what Harbaugh will do. Baltimore only has 1 timeout left with $1:49. See where it ends up. Figure's going to let it bounce. Now going to field it. Take it out of bounds at the 13-yard line, does Yamon Figures. 100 seconds left for Joe Flacco and the Ravens. Here's what they did on the last drive. And remember, before this drive, they only had 1 first down and 5 net yards in the half, the entire half. But Derek Mason a couple of times, good pass protection on this drive as well. Mason getting them close, and LaRon McClain, who chipped in with 5 carries and 20 yards, just left a shoulder print on the jersey of 94, Lawrence Timmons, for the game-tying touchdown.
This would be a very improbable score for the Baltimore Ravens.
Jaws, do you do anything here?
Well,
Figures
Figures really put him in a tough field position right here by not fielding that punt. I think they'll take it to overtime unless they get a big play.
They were stripping at the ball, trying to get it from McClain. He gets to the 22.
You're really limited, Mike, because you only have 1 timeout. And the last thing you want to do down here is make a mistake, because you know the Steelers are coming in trying to rip the ball out, strip the football, create the turnover.
You could be a legend, though. You know, if you're Flacco and you get this done, you could be a legend.
Lamar Woodley had his hands on that ball. McClain, you got to secure it with 2 hands here. He gets the first down, minute 7 left. It's kind of hard, the 2-minute drill. The 2-minute drill is so hard to do halfway. You know, it's so, the halfway 2-minute drill is just the worst. As McClain can't get up here.
It just doesn't seem like they're trying to get to the line all that quickly.
Well, McClain's hurt. He's cramping.
McClain's hurt. Yeah, he's cramping, no question of that.
And because he's hurt, they have to take this timeout.
Lose the timeout
It'll
right
be
here.
their last timeout.
You lose it right here.
There's an injury inside of 2 minutes. Baltimore will be throwing to 30 from
And now with no timeouts and 46 seconds left, you're probably at the point where you don't take a chance down the field.
No, you wouldn't take a chance. I think, you know, conventional wisdom would say, hey, work the sidelines, get out of bounds. But you know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers know that. You know, they're going to guard the sideline. They're going to force you to run routes to the inside and throw the ball to the inside. And if there's one flaw I've seen in Flacco's game, small sampling, 2 games, he really hasn't read the underneath coverage to the inside very well. So Cam Cameron doing a good job. Hey, let's take this thing to overtime and see what happens.
Discretion is the better part of valor in this particular case.
You have better verbiage than I do, but that's what I was trying to say.
Just project this forward here, guys, for a second. With McClain hurt, cramps or whatever it might be, McGahee and McClain would be out. That would leave Baltimore with only Ray Rice, a rookie running back, and that can bring a lot of problems in pickups against the Steelers. This is not a game you expected to see a lot of Ray Rice.
If they had unlimited overtimes like hockey, nobody would be standing at the end of this game. They'd have run out of players.
Mike, I also believe they have Lorenzo Neal, who's a pretty good blocking back as well. If they get in that situation where they just need someone to block, and Low Neal's pretty good at that.
That's right. I'm thinking more for overtime, if there is an overtime for carrying the ball. But you're right if they decide to put it up in the air here for 46 seconds. McLean had 8 runs, 33 yards, and a touchdown here in this quarter.
He's sort of a load, isn't he? You don't want to get hit by him. He's sort of a load.
Three receivers, one back, and they'll run the rookie Ray Rice to the left and try to get the ball out of his hands. And it's one of those, if you're going to do that, just take a knee and
play for overtime.
Overtime at this point.
And hope you get the coin flip. And that's what they're playing for.
Well, now they will, but still, Mike, you run the play. You may get a gasher in there and get a big play, and then then maybe go up and spike the ball and take a shot down the field. But hey, your 25-yard line, you're not going to run any high-risk plays.
See McGahee, who had the injury before.
Ray's loving it.
Got hit in the chest. You saw how bad his eye was from last week as well.
Take a knee.
Now,
take a knee right here.
Oh, the penalty marker down. Do they have an illegal formation with nobody covering on the side here? Let's see. 7 seconds left.
They're prolonging the inevitable. Be a 10-second runoff if it's
The foul is illegal formation. Baltimore, number 78, was uncovered. By rule, a foul inside of 1 minute that is illegal formation will also carry with it a 10-second runoff. In this situation, the 7 seconds remaining will run off. That will be the end of regulation. We will now move into overtime.
A second.
There's been a correction.
Yes.
We have a correction on the penalty with 7 seconds remaining. Due to the fact that there were 7 men on the line of scrimmage and we're not moving, the illegal formation is not a 10-second runoff. It is a foul at the snap. Therefore, we will have 7 seconds remaining in the game. We will have to snap the ball, and then we will end regulation. Will the game clock operator please reset the game clock to 7 seconds? Thank you.
You might not necessarily end regulation if it's a Joe Pisarcik situation, right?
How about the fake kneel down and throw like a go route?
You'd love that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd love that.
See, that's something Buddy Ryan would do. I'm really reaching, aren't I, guys?
Well, he's going to take a knee, and then we're going to have a coin flip.
Exactly.
And maybe you can run out on the field and demand that whoever wins plays defense.
All right.
Okay, now we officially will have the 5th overtime of the season here in the National Football League. Home team.
Gentlemen, this is the coin now that we will flip for overtime. The overtime rules are each team will have 2 team timeouts. 4th quarter timing will be in effect. First team to score will win the game. Visiting captain, call the toss. The call is tails. It is a tail.
We want to receive.
Which way would you like to kick?
We want to receive. We want to receive.
Baltimore's won the toss and elected to receive.
And the Ravens set to get the ball to start OT.
Hard to argue with the fine performance of Joe Flacco. He made a mistake on the fumble. That's been about it.
The team that wins the toss has won all 4 overtime games this year. 2 of them on the opening drive. Yaman Figures from 3 yards deep. Flag down as Figures gets the sideline. 4 flags down as a great return back to midfield.
Figures on the return.
Will, in all likelihood, come back.
2 more flags he would have had at an amusement park.
That was funny. I like that. Made me laugh.
He had to take off his shoe to get to that final number.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding number 43 of the return team. That penalty is declined. There's also holding number 50 of the return team. That penalty will be accepted 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, Baltimore.
The Ravens will take over their own 15, and James Farrier asks the crowd for help.
going to be a lot of kids late to school in the morning.
This is
Nobody has left.
intimidating
Nobody.
environment, Tony.
Yeah.
Remember the last Monday night overtime ended on the very first play of OT. Favre and the Packers in Denver.
This won't.
No, it will not. It's McClain back in the game. Gets just a yard and a half. James Farrier slow out of the pile. The ice tubs will be overflowing with people tomorrow. It is just a hard-hitting, many players banged up game here tonight.
Steelers' defensive line has been terrific. They only dressed 5 players in the D-line, and they have battled and scratched 60 minutes and now no overtime. They've held up pretty darn good.
Great point. Missing 2/3 of their starters. Brett Kiesel, Casey Hampton out tonight. Flacco. Somehow they got rid of Woodley. A flag comes down as he throws downfield for Mason. Incomplete, battling Bryant McFadden. Chop block on the Ravens. Maybe one of those they're checking. Was Woodley being blocked high and then somebody hit him low at the same time?
Personal foul. Chop block. Defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Replay second down.
Keene's territory did mean offense.
You'll see it right here. One offensive player going low, one offensive player going high. You see McClain going down. You see Grubbs up high. That is a chop block.
McClain left, some space. Polamalu went to cut his legs out as he goes to the 15. And Troy has to scrape himself off of Heinz Field.
That really is a big 7 yards. It makes it a much more manageable third down situation. You know, if you're at 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18, you don't have many plays in the playbook to convert that to a first down. 3rd and 10, much more manageable, kind of opens up the playbook.
Here they come. Flacco got to protect the ball as he's brought down. Lawrence Timmons able to get to him. The 5th sack of the Ravens quarterback tonight.
Mike, you called it at the snap of the ball. Here they come. Dick LeBeau in these situations, you know he is going to bring the heat. And here it comes. Timmons from the edge. McClain goes to cut him, misses him. Timmons comes around and makes the play.
When Mike Tomlin wants to make a play with special teams, he'll put Santonio Holmes back to receive a punt. He does so here. Sam Cook, the kick. Good toward the sideline. Tough to return. Holmes stays in bounds at the 40. Oh, and he gets hit at the 43 by Antoine Barnes, who was helped off the field earlier with a stinger.
And what a terrific punt by Sam Cook in that pressure situation to boom one like that. And great coverage by Barnes.
2/3 of the people in this game have been helped off the field earlier in the game and have come back to play the next 3 quarters.
What a replay that is, and what a job. Boom. The front end of that, he got knocked down, double teamed, knocked out of bounds, got back up, found the runner and slammed him. Wow. Great replay, guys. Steelers' chance to win it here in OT. Their defense did the job. They need only about 25 yards to get into field goal range, so a couple of first downs. Noel D. Moore runs for 2, and if you tuned in just at the top of the hour, Willie Parker out for the game. Rashard Mendenhall hurt his shoulder in the start of the second half. Carey Davis injured his left ankle in the 4th quarter.
Didn't you say that, by the way, just a little while ago, it's like deja vu that they only need about 20 or 25 yards to get into field goal.
Exactly.
I think I've heard that before.
They're playing the Ravens. You know?
That's right.
Right now on the Ravens defense, you know, the good defenses bow their back here, and of course the Steelers going to say, hey, if we're gonna be a good football team, we've got to get this ball in field goal range.
Tight formation, throw from it. And Roethlisberger never had time to get set to get out to Santonio Holmes. Jarrett Johnson was coming in, and Ray Lewis finished it off. Mewelde Moore had no chance of blocking Jarrett Johnson.
Jarrett Johnson at 265 pounds with a running start against Mewelde Moore at about 200 pounds. I mean, I heard the contact up here, and we got to be 100 yards from where that just happened. You will see it right here. I mean, Jarrett Johnson, number 95, and then Ray Lewis comes in, and he finishes off Ben Roethlisberger.
Had Jarrett Johnson not made that terrible play, the penalty earlier in this game, we wouldn't be in this circumstance right now.
Not big. This is 3rd and 8. Then all over the map, gets it to Moore, made a man miss. Mewelde Moore taking it into field goal range to the 31-yard line. 24 huge yards for the Steelers.
We've said it all night long. Ben Roethlisberger doing a terrific job in the pocket, then extending the play by moving outside the pocket. Here comes the pressure to Ben's right. It's Corey Ivy, forces Ben to move. He finds Mewelde Moore. Mewelde Moore in the open field, making defenders miss. Just a terrific job by Mewelde Moore, and Ben Roethlisberger doing a great job of finding Moore.
Moore shouldn't celebrate that much. He's the only running back. He strains himself. They have nobody to carry the ball.
From here, a field goal would be 48 yards. And with the Ravens defense, they can give you a -3 or a -4, so you need quick hitting stuff. Jeff Reed, oddly enough, Jeff Reed, in his career, now 7th year in the NFL, he's made 141 field goals with tonight's couple. He's never attempted an overtime field goal in the regular season, which is quite bizarre, but did attempt one successfully in the postseason.
Well, you'll see the Ravens defense right now firing the gaps. They'll try to create a negative play, push the Steeler offense back a few yards.
Second and 10. Oh, Moore fell down, and that's a loss of 4 yards, and that makes it a 53-yard field goal attempt if they can't gain any yardage on 3rd down.
That was a huge 4-yard loss. Clearly, Ben Roethlisberger and Mewelde Moore not on the same page. I know Moore slipped a little bit coming out of his stance, runs into Ben Roethlisberger. That's not the kind of play.
Can't hand the ball off of the guys on his knees.
It's almost reminiscent of Brian Westbrook and Donovan McNabb in that Dallas game earlier this season. Boy, these plays that should be just automatic.
Handing it off in the guy's throat at that point.
And remember, guys, there's never been a field goal over 50 yards in Heinz Field in an NFL game.
That is bizarre.
The wind, it's always been a problem kicking, especially the other way. Pressure comes, Roethlisberger got rid of it, and it's caught. And they got the yardage back and a couple more with Moore.
Good play by Ben.
And it's going to be a 45-yard field goal attempt for the win by Reed.
Once again, Roethlisberger doing a nice job. You saw the blitz up the middle, coming on the A-gap, trying to get pressure on Ben. That's the second time he's read this blitz in this half and ran that little O-cut to Mewelde Moore to the outside. They had Moore matched up against the linebacker, Bart Scott. That's a matchup that Mewelde Moore should win.
Watch if the Ravens call a timeout. John Harbaugh, the head coach, is right next to the official on his sideline. Greg Warren's the snapper. Mitch Berger, the punter, is the holder. 46 yards to win. Timeout Ravens. Timeout Ravens. Got the timeout called at the last second. So the Mike Shanahan move from last year.
We debated that a million times. I've never liked it. I think it's sort of cheesy. You like it, Jaws? Calling the timeout?
You call it cheesy, I call it strategy.
Well, it could be both.
No,
it could be
strategy.
cheesy and strategy.
Obviously, John Harbaugh, who made his living as a special teams coach, believes it's strategy.
You like it, Mike?
9 years with the Eagles. I like the fact that you can get in the kicker's head. Is he going to take timeout or not? And the kickers, you know the way kickers are, they're strange birds.
Right.
They've turned around mentally for, hey, do whatever you want. It gives me a good chance to either get a good feel for the wind and the distance or get the bad one out of me. So they've reconciled it either way.
At least you can only call it once. You can't keep calling timeout.
That's right. You cannot do back-to-back timeouts. That overtime field goal was made at the end of the 04 season against the Jets, a 33-yarder to win by Reed. This is second overtime attempt from 46 to win the game. One time, says Tomlin. Snap good, hold good, kick, good. Steelers win by that much. Susie Colbert with Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben, it was like a heavyweight fight that went 13 rounds. What was it like to be in the middle of that?
I'm just glad we won. You know, our guys never back down. We played terrible offensively in the first half, but they didn't back down. They fought through it, and we came out offensively and did well. Got to give a lot of kudos to our defense.
What changed for you from the first half to the second half?
Well, we started going no huddle, and I told Bruce and Tomlin, I said, let's pick up the pace. Let me call the plays. We did it. We looked really good doing it, and you know, it got successful.
What were you thinking coming off last week's game, such a pounding too against Philly?
Well, the biggest thing was just getting a win. And we're not going to say anything about it being a pretty win, but we got to win, and that's all that matters tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Steelers 3-1, Ravens 2-1. Different looks and views of the reaction of the Reed game winner.
Good snap, good hold. It's hooking, but it hugs just inside the upright.
Roethlisberger, as he said, poor in the first half with the offense. Little redemption. They went to that wrinkle, the no huddle, made a big difference. And you see how juiced up Mike Tomlin was. The enthusiasm of 36-year-old head coach. Yeah, that one was one that we get for the physical pounding that this game enacted. It's how tough to take. He keeps it alive for the Steelers. 14 consecutive wins on Monday Night Football.